I'm still sad. I don't want this to be over. I mean, I both do and I don't. I want it to be over in the sense that, as I said on the Discord, for anyone who's not in there, I've been feeling burnout / depression / whatever very bad lately. I think I probably need like at least a week off. But I'm not gonna do that before I finish this. I'm too invested. That would be a sneaky way to prolong it. But I can't do that to y'all. Hey, Nyatsurugi. Hey, Scroy. Bye, Scroy. I keep forgetting you're still behind. Have fun. File those divorce papers. Those divorce papers are signed. We just gotta seal and deliver. Then stop by the adoption office. Those papers are also already filled out. Let me see. Let's see, I haven't streamed in 2 days, so I'm guessing I don't need to update the totals at all. But let me check. I believe ad revenue from people watching VODs, if there are ads on those, gets included, so maybe there's something. Or maybe auto subs. Oh, yep, sure enough. $2. $2. Plus tip. There is no tip. People can tip. That's besides the point. Hey, Janae, your sub runs out in a few days. Secret. No worries. Or did you auto-renew? I can't remember. Either way. Hey, Stu. But yeah, I took the last couple of days off because, like I said, just general, not quite feeling 100% lately. But, I wanted to at least make sure I get this finished up before I take any kind of extended break. And to do that, I made sure that, yeah, I wanted to make sure I was well rested for this. I want to make this finale the best I possibly can. And not let me being depressed about other shit get in the way. Gotta wait for this iTunes gift cards money secret. Yeah, understandable, no worries. Forgot something in the Discord, not including group watch chat. Scroy, what's up? Yeah, Best, I'm sorry, your day's been a fucking trip, Jesus Christ. Yeah, speaking from someone who's been, like, literally almost the exact same situation, like I said. Take care of yourself. If you feel you or your mom are threatened in any way, do not be afraid to call the cops and do not be afraid to press charges like my stupid ass was. Because I still regret not pressing charges. If you take care of myself, Scroy, yeah, oh, I will. Thank you for your concern. No worries. Like I said, for the record, if I do take any kind of extended break, I think what I might still do, I might still do the regular group. I might do what I did back in Christmas of last year, which was just doing a marathon group watch instead of over the course of a couple weeks. So I don't know if y'all are. I don't know if anyone here is up for a Boondocks marathon, but that might happen next week. Like that, assuming I can finish this game over the weekend, I think that might be the plan. Is to just do group watches over the weekdays, and then maybe still do Final Fantasy X for my birthday playthrough, because that'll just be 3 days over the weekend. Nyatsurugi, thank you for boosting the stream. What's Spoopin' JC? It is officially Spooky Month! My favorite! My actual favorite month, not even just because of my birthday next week. Just in general, I like October. It's a good month. Thank you, Stu. Thank you, Bestie. Howdy, Abyss. Hey, Fusion. Spooky. Am I thinking about skipping No More Heroes 3? I'm skipping it in the sense that I'm not worried about finishing it. Like, I hate to leave that hanging if I go on any kind of extended break as well. But like the fact is, No More Heroes 3 is a decently sized chunk of why I've been feeling so shit lately. So I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm going to finish it. I'm not gonna just abandon it forever like I did Monster Hunter or Hitman. There are still things about it I'm interested in, and I do want to see it through to its conclusion. It's just been a very frustrating experience, and it's not helping me right now. So it's just gonna have to wait to be finished for a little bit. I rested, Pump. I took 2 days off. I didn't even do an After Dark group watch yesterday. I took an actual day off yesterday. I even skipped the After Dark group watch. I've been doing that anyway. I'm good. Had effectively 2 days off. I'm well rested. I'm gonna get this game done, and I'm gonna rest some more. The mini quest. I went ahead. Oh yeah, for Genshin. Yeah, I went ahead and did the mini quest. I'd like to go ahead and do the cutscenes on stream. Assuming we can get this done in a timely manner, I'll probably switch over and do that, and then edit it in later or something. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Exposition ahoy! Is this an exposition chapter? Okay, then we better get our butt started then. All right, let's see. I saw the SMT5 dubcast. I don't really have any thoughts because I don't know any of the actual characters. I've not been actually watching the trailers at all. I watched, we got like one like extended plot trailer like showed off new characters, but I don't know who any of them are. I don't know what's going on. I'm staying as blind as possible for that game. The cast seems good, but I have no way of knowing how good they'll actually do. I keep seeing people make jokes about the main characters being Kaoru and Shinji, but it's the shitty Kaoru and Shinji. No offense to those voice actors, Casey something or other. They seem pretty cool. Damon Mills, he was Frieza for a hot minute. He was a Frieza substitute. He did a good job. They seem like cool people, but that Evangelion dub is shit. That Netflix Evangelion dub is shite! I will not allow Kawashin jokes. Absolutely not. Not the shitty versions. Tribe 9 trailer, no idea what that is. But yeah, sorry about that, Bess. Good God. Like I said, let me know if you need, I'd love to know what the hell set him off. Like, that's not normal. But yeah, just stay safe. Yeah, lots of Three Houses alumni. Lots and lots of Three Houses voice actors. Which is fine. Oops. Gay is gay no matter what the Kaoru and Shinji thing. But they sound so bad! I'm sorry! I know the actor who plays Shinji in that, I know Casey Mongrello, I think is their name. I know they're non-binary, but, like, I know that Shinji's voiced in in the Japanese version, but, like, I'm sorry. I like prepubescent voice-cracking Spike Spencer Shinji. It adds character. It adds to his loserness. It's important to me, okay? It's very, very important to me. It's more accurate. It's like, of course his voice is cracky and fucking nerdy sounding. He's 14. They're also not gay in the Netflix sub, exactly. He's worthy of his grace. The Twitter video posted this morning, Stu, I think I missed it. Which one was it? The unexpected halt of proceedings sent a clamor around the courtroom. But outside the Bailey, where Londoners knew nothing of the secret trial within, it was a typical still night. Then, a little past 8 o'clock that evening, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Also, Sholmes and his new fucking boyfriend, Lottie fucking Da, returned to Baker Street. I don't even care anymore. I don't even care anymore. You're dead to me. We've returned, my dear fellows. Welcome back to Britain. Thank you for your timely help. Ass. Think nothing of it. I believe you've had even more wearing day than Mikotoba and I know. Yeah, I could say that. You were both on the brink of defeat in the court earlier. So this prosecutor, Asogi, had you on the ropes, did he? He's your best friend, you say? Well, he's not really the man I knew from Japan anymore. Kazuma's kind of a dick now. Oh, Mr. Naruhodo. I mean, it's incredible. To think that he'd even entertain the idea of acting as the Reaper's assassin. I was gonna say, I'm not a fan of how hard he glossed over that. Like, he's saying he got offered to be the new assassin. Like, how the fuck did that work? Did Gregson recruit you? And then he immediately got killed by someone else? Like, I don't know. Like, it'd be very stupid for fucking Mailheart to approach him directly, but at the same time, they seemed getting awfully cozy. New Toku from Singapore? Ooh, neat. Oh yeah, did I mention that Toshiki Inoue ruined this game? And nothing of importance was lost. What do you mean, asshole? Look, Inoue has his quirks, but he's a good writer. This does feel like something he would write, though. Again, it's well written, but also, oh my god, the cucking. The absolute cucking. Jesus Christ. Well, nevertheless, you must introduce me. After all, I've only ever met the young man as a corpse. When all this started almost a year ago now. Mr. Sholmes still hasn't told us the truth about what really happened back then. About the motivation for what he himself described as a great detective's lie. I can see the hickeys on his neck. Absolutely disgusting. Cover your shame, you fucking whore. I must say, it's really quite a journey all the way to France. Well, it is another country, Mr. Sholmes, so what news of Judge Goku? I assume he's in a holding cell. Oh, okay. We took him to Scotland Yard. The investigating detectives there had a lot of questions for the man. Poor Professor Mikotoba, this must be quite a shock for him. Ah, yes, I picked this up at the telegraph office on our way home. What is it? Surely you haven't forgotten already. I put it upon you. I put upon you for the matter only yesterday.
Man whore! He's a man whore! Big bro.
You put upon me, Sholmes. I had to fill your telegram out to Japan and for the bill.
Oh, you had a reply already?
What was so urgent, though, Mr. Sholmes? Such matters can wait until later. I'm far too hungry for an involved conversation at present.
Well, that's good news, because supper is ready, everyone! This isn't gonna be an awkward dinner at all!
Iris, pack your things. We're leaving. Ah, and what a feast it is! If I were otherwise, I think the trial were won already. Roast beef, kipper, stew, steak, and kidney pie, Yorkshire pudding.
Tomorrow could be a very long day, so eat up!
In that case, I think I'll seat myself just here. This place appears to be the only one set with a helping of pheasant as well.
Oh, sorry, Hurley, not there.
Why ever not? Are we in set places this evening?
Yes, and that place is for Susie's daddy.
For me?
That's right. I mean, especially for you, Professor Mickey.
I swear to fucking God. Mikotoba, I have nothing against you. But if you steal my fucking man and then steal my fucking daughter... you're gonna be a fucking speck on the floor. I see, that's terribly kind of you.
It's a shame, really.
What do you mean? Little does she know he's not her dad, there's no way. Sholmes did the look at the pretty buddy thing.
Well, for a brief moment I believed it. That Susie and I were half-sisters, I mean.
Oh. Iris, do you mean...
Yeah, I know now. I overheard yesterday. I secretly listened in on the whole conversation we had. After I tricked you all into thinking I'd left.
The misunderstanding arose because of that autopsy report from 10 years ago. But actually, it turned out that neither Dr. Wilson nor Professor Mikotoba are Iris' father. Insert those guys on the Maury show who start dancing while the ladies break down and cry like, "Oh, I was sure, Maury, I was sure." While the guys like fucking go run all over the studio and high five the audience. Cue that shit. It's not important to me. Smash got leaked again. Did the last fighter actually get leaked? Who is it? I don't give a shit either way. Who is it? Is it like actually leaked? Was there like an SNK incident with the copyright? It's actually Sora? What the fuck? I don't know if I believe that. That's almost an actual good choice for a character. I don't know if I believe that. Yes, about that, Iris, you know why?
I know. You can't tell me at the moment.
Oh, Iris.
The pheasant is by way of an apology. I'm sorry for eavesdropping.
Oh, no, that's quite all right. It was Rex. Rex or Edelgard. Then why don't I get any apologetic pheasant?
Because you're a filthy man-horse, Hurley. You let poor Runo on. What the fuck's wrong with you?
So just who is Iris's father? I've been thinking about this a lot, BT dubs. I've been thinking about this a lot. I don't know, should I brainstorm? Should I say my thoughts or not? Should I brainstorm or just keep it to myself? Say it? Okay. Say it, save it, do it. Okay. So it's not Mikoto, but it's not Wilson. The only reason to keep it from her like this, I think it's the Italian guy. It could be the Italian guy, like I said. Red hair plus blonde equals pink. It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. But no, okay, 10 years ago, the only reason to keep this on this much of the down low, and it's not these two, is if it was somebody involved in all the Baskerville bullshit. Hence why he also probably doesn't want her to publish the thing. So I'm thinking it has to be somebody involved with that whole thing. And that would be either, I guess technically it could be him or Strongheart, assuming him being a dick goes that far back. It could be him, it could be Strongheart, it could be Barack's brother, which would make him literal Uncle Barry, which would be fucking amazing. Or where the fuck is Asogi? Okay. Or it could be Kazuma's dad. Those are the three. Or four. That's all. If it's none of those, then I'll buy a new hat just to eat it. Kazuma getting his sister would be kind of cute, not gonna lie. But so would Barack being literal Uncle Barry. So I'm cool with either of those. Her being the daughter of Strongheart or Jigoku would be kind of fucked. So I'm hoping it's one of the latter two. Who's your daddy? I suppose it's not something we'll be finding out today. So then, let us dine while our largely pheasantless plates are still piping hot. A fine idea, Sholmes. It all looks absolutely delicious.
Eat as much as you'd like. There's always seconds.
I want to protect her smile. Is the pink-haired girl the new Pearl? Basically in this. She has a doctorate. Or she could secretly be a Skulkin. This could be our last chance to ask questions before tomorrow's trial. About that telegram from Japan and about Kazuma. I can't let this opportunity slip away. Why are you sitting like that? It's not endearing anymore. I hate you. Yo, look at this fucking bird! Roast beef, kipper, stew, steak, and kidney pie, Yorkshire pudding. It all looks mouth-wateringly good. Indeed it does! Get out of my face! And if it were accompanied by even a morsel of pheasant, it would be perfection! You're still on about that.
Oh, it really does look like a feast for celebrating a victory in court.
Or indeed for drowning in one's sorrows after defeat.
I hope you weren't referring to the trial tomorrow, Mr. Sholmes.
He's clearly still in mourning over the pheasant at the moment. And nobody ate dinner that night. I suppose I have to talk to you. Mr. Sholmes, what are you doing? Surely it's abundantly clear. Is anyone getting the new Switch OLED? I personally have not met a single person who is actually getting it. Like, it's a cool idea, but, like, it's literally useless unless you take your Switch on the go a lot and wanted a better quality screen. I know very few people who do that. Like, I guess people in, like, New York who use the subway a lot and shit, but, like, I don't know anyone directly who's planning on it. It just does not, again, unless you do plan on, unless you take your Switch places a lot, I don't think it's worth it. I would wait for a actual Switch Pro that'll make it look better, you know, on the actual TV. Surely it's abundantly clear that I wasn't brooding over Mikotoba's refusal to share his pheasant with me. Nevertheless, see, even he's mad at you. I felt the need to withdraw from the social circle for a while and look on with hungry eyes. Huh. Oh, the Kamen Rider Black teaser? Apparently it's real. I can't actually look at it and pay attention right now, but cool. I forgot that was happening. I was so distracted by the Shin Kamen Rider news. Also, aww, Natsuno and Miura, very cute. I miss them.
Sorry, Hurley, but I took that pheasant especially for Susie's daddy.
Even though I've played the role of father to you for far longer. Mr. Sholmes, can I discuss something with you? Why does he sit like that? Is he a child? Yes, Nicole. Yes, he is. Also, yeah, good to see you. It's been a while since you've actually been able to join us. I remember you used to have, like, bad Wi-Fi issues, right? But good to have you. Yes, he is an actual child. And a man whore. Certainly, my dear fellow. I found myself quite in the mood for a spell of conversation. No doubt you're hungry to learn more of my deep love of game. I can probably contain my curiosity on that one. You needn't look at me like that, and you needn't look at me in that fashion. In what fashion? It seems that before we discuss the pheasant, we have some rather unpheasant matters to discuss. That's a Pokemon. You're going to get sued. So, what was in the telegram you received from back, you received back from Japan? I think my lucky stars had arrived in time. Record found as indicated. Duplicate follows. K. Asoki, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. Okay. Those names again. We've come across that exact same list before. They came up in that unforgettable case last spring. What happened to be a simple case, what appeared to be a simple case of aggravated murder turned out to be masking a monumental intrigue. The plot involved the sale of British governmental secrets to foreign states. In exposing the means by which those secrets were being leaked, we deciphered the fragment of a message. Kayasogi, Asashin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson. I believe you'll find it's T. Gure-gu-san. But we didn't find out the names until the case was over. We never did get to the bottom of what they meant. As we know, was that the information that had been sent by somebody in the British government to somebody in Japan? So, why are the names coming up again now?
Yes, where did the sender of your telegram discover them, Mr. Sholmes?
I have the message I had wired yesterday. Allow me to read it to you. Enter Judge Shikoku's office undetected and investigate telegram records. Expect to find communication from Britain dated 1 year ago. List of 4 names. Need by tomorrow. Naruhodo. I sent it to a detective I know who specializes in clandestine missions of this nature. You asked Inspector Hosanaka to undertake such an onerous task for you? This will not end well. Okay, so we're gonna disregard any information that he's given us. That's the plan. And in my name? What the fuck, bruh? Never watched Kamen Rider Abyss. Where to start? Either just start with Kamen Rider Kuga, or look at this list here. Do I have that still? I don't. Thank God. Thank God that's the only fucking Weebly site that's actually useful. I can start to like Weebly. Look at this guide here, and just like read through the summaries, honestly. You don't have to watch them in any particular order besides the anniversary seasons. So just whichever one sounds most interesting to you, honestly, just go for it. Or, like I said, Kuga. Or Double, actually. Like I said, we just finished watching Double as a group watch. Double is a very, very good entry point. Kuga, Double, or fucking pick your poison. That's the great thing about Kamen Rider. You can just kind of hop in anywhere for the most part. I wonder what guys he opted for this time. Was it for someone who actually can do his job competently? Let's fucking hope so. My dear fellows, it was a matter of great urgency, you understand. Anyway, the list of names was found in Seishiro's office, as Sholmes predicted. So you mean the mysterious collection of names that was sent from Britain to Japan was... It was sent to Judge Shikoku! It was indeed... He was the intended recipient. I cannot read today. I apologize. I don't believe it. But that doesn't answer the question of what the list of names actually signifies. I did formulate a hypothesis about that. But without a shred of evidence, I couldn't possibly have shared it. Mr. Sholmes. He looks deadly serious for once in his life. That tragedy we had to go through on the SS Berea. It was all for nothing! Cosmo wasn't fucking dead at all! We were completely taken in by the lie you told us, your great detective's lie. I took no pleasure in deceiving you. I find that very hard to believe. However, at the time, all that concerned me was preventing the young man's study tour from taking place, whatever the cost. What? I capitalized on the events that transpired to see that he was sent back to Japan. His remains, you mean? Precisely, Mrs. Otto. And then I made sure that somebody else was sent to Britain in his stead. What would be the point of that? If my theory about him doing it because he somehow knew at least partially what was on that list, you get Kazuma out of it, would sending someone else in his stead not immediately jeopardize them as well? Were you trying to kill me on top of cheating on me? Sholmes was deadly serious for once in his life. Sholmes whenever someone mentions a dog. Baskerville! The thumbnails look really cool. Abyss, the Kamen Rider's pretty cool. It's got some good posters. Can easily sell you on stuff. Oh my, you mean... The arrangement between our two countries was already in place. One university student lawyer, one judicial assistant to be accompanied on a study tour. In other words, by arranging for someone else to fill the place originally intended for Mr. Osoki, I would successfully prevent the man from arriving on our shores for several years at least. Wait, do you mean to say that it was all in the aid of stopping Cosmo from coming to Britain? That's why you... Think back, Mr. Naruto. Was there not somebody who quite casually urged you to continue your voyage to England? The terms of the study tour were negotiated by the Department of Justice in both Great Britain and Japan. And also, you guys were totally always dressed this way. In light of Mr. Asoki's unfortunate death, I'm afraid the study tour can no longer go ahead. I'm gonna have to close this case. You had one job. My dear fellows, the majority of problems have an extremely simple solution, you know. All you require is one lawyer, and the study tour can continue, surely. Where does this band fit into the Andelgard family universe? Good God, I don't even know. that tree has gotten so goddamn convoluted.
But there is no one else with the necessary qualifications, Mr. Sholmes. We know of no other lawyer.
I have to close this case of foreign affairs. Yeah! Hi, help! Thank you very much for updating the autopsy report. Don't think I'll be in chat too much tonight. Moving into an apartment. Oh, very nice. Cool, my dude. No worries. You take it easy. Don't lift too many heavy boxes. Make sure to stretch regularly. Don't hurt your back like me. The voyage to London still promises a good month of time. Ample opportunity, I would say, to find yourselves another suitable lawyer. So you manipulated me? I can't pretend to be shocked anymore. I've often remarked on the extraordinary lengths to which friendship will drive a man. I was quite sure that you would rise to the challenge for your late friend. I don't believe this. Shout out to Tashiar.
But if it was all contrived... I mean, what happened was treated by the authorities as a murder. A woman was mistakenly arrested as the perpetrator. What do you suppose came of her?
Who cares? Naturally, I didn't allow the mess apprehension to have any serious repercussions. I subsequently explained everything as it assisted the unfortunate soul in finding the foreign refuge she sought. Boo! Boo! I seem to remember Mr. Sato and I had some rather strong words for her. Mine were stronger. Well, she was certainly not devoid of all guilt. She deserved every word, I'm sure. Wonder if she made it to America then. I saw the new trailer. It looks alright. It looks fine. It's just green text Hidekiano. I don't trust the man. If I'm pleasantly surprised, I'm pleasantly surprised, but I'm not getting my hopes up on anything he's involved with. I will never ever forgive him for Evangelion 4. Or 3+1, whatever the fuck it's called.
I'm afraid I simply cannot comprehend it. Why would you go to such lengths, Mr. Sholmes? Why were you so determined to stop Kazuma-sama from reaching Britain?
The truth is, 12 months ago, there was already a very tangible omen of the impending tragedy, you see.
Oh?
An omen that at this very moment in time is close at hand. An omen of all these tragic events that already existed a year ago? It's close at hand. I need to find out exactly what the fuck that means. Do we have to present something to get him to explain? Is it the stuff he just gave us? That's a little silly. There was no room for doubt when your instructions in this telegram, Mr. Sholmes. You were very clear it was Judge Shigoku's office that should be searched, so... You obviously knew. That's where the list of names would be found.
K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, J. Wilson.
But we only learned of those 4 names just over 6 months ago now, and only because they appeared as part of the top-secret government communications that were leaked. That's true, yes. But at that time, you were unaware of the background. You See, those 4 names were wired to Japan. Around 6 months before that. Approximately this time last year, in fact. When you were both still in Japan. Okay, alright. Okay, finally, finally getting clarification on that. Because I was like, yeah, why was that list only just now circulating? When, like, some of these guys were already dead. Okay. Someone needs to make a game that follows the history of this channel. RPG, it'd be a very complicated game. It could happen someday. I know Boop was working on that, that Fire Emblem hack. But, Boop's also very, very busy with other stuff, so I think that kind of stalled out. Like I said, quite frankly, I'd be happy with a TV tropes page or a wiki. We need an article on brain holes. Or if it's a TV tropes page, then we need a list of all the characters whose voices have taken on an identity of their own. Like fucking Rex and Lang. It really would be hypocrisy on my part to reprove others for intercepting state secrets. Because after all, I'm perpetually eavesdropping on communications between the British and Japanese governments. Would Edelclown be the main villain? Oh, absolutely. You're perpetually doing what now? How? Never mind the details, but you should know. No secret is safe from Herlock Sholmes when he has designs on knowing it.
Oh my, Mr. Sholmes, what a fabulous line.
Now, 1 month after that list of 4 names was wired to the recipient Jigoku in Japan, Dr. John H. Wilson was murdered. As soon as I learned of the incident, a hypothesis rapidly took shape in my mind. As it turned out, I was partly correct, and partly mistaken. Nevertheless, it was the beginning of all the tragic events that were told to follow. Just follow. First boss is watching the video one more time, oh no. Would be a real shame if we didn't have something to resolve all these plot points in one conversation. I'll do it. I'm so sorry, Nicole. I remember that's why you haven't ever noted that. I remember you having issues last time you showed up forever ago. I'm so sorry. One day we'll get partnered. One day maybe we'll get partnered and we can actually have quality options that can help you out, but I'm guessing tonight we don't.
Mr. Sholmes, please, tell us all you know. Tell us about those 4 names and the tragedy to which they're all somehow connected.
Oh shoot, oh yeah, it's all set since it's the start of Spooky Month. The leaderboard is reset. Dust, congratulations, you are Kamen Rider Cheer. Hip hip hurrah. When I learned of Dr. Wilson's murder in Japan, my mind immediately turned to those 4 names. Because, you see, there was someone else on the list, who I believe to be recently deceased. What? Who? A Shin, as it was transcribed in the Japanese script. An actual fact, this Asa Shin. The fuck he ain't. Okay, never mind, I guess it's JC. That was a familiar name to me. She was a professional killer, well known among London's unsavory classes. Oh, I see. Wait, so higher up people just fucking knew about this lady? God damn. The professor didn't kill enough of them. But she had completely vanished from existence several months before Wilson's murder. So I came to the logical conclusion that she had herself been killed. Raphael, no. Poor boy. Cow, a bummer. And accordingly, I became fearful for the lives of the remaining 2 persons on the list. There are quality options, you're just stuck on 160 of the stream freezes. Ah, okay. Alright, we do have quality options today. That's good. Still, I'm sorry. Abyss. If you had more, you'd start another war, Abyss. Oh no. Winter is coming.
K. Asogi and T. Gregson.
Owing to our proximity, I decided to take measures to protect Gregson myself. But I determined it would be safest also if young Asogi were to stay away from Britain. Ah, so that's why you went to such lengths to prevent his study tour from going ahead. I'd love to know why they decided to off Gregson. Like, there's no hint that he was kind of reevaluating everything or, like, regretting working with them. And obviously, he hadn't met Gina yet, so you can't even say that she softened him somehow. Like, I'd love to know what the fuck he did to get on their shit to get on their shit list. That's why he went through to such great lengths to prevent his study from going ahead. Exactly. I forgot I didn't read that part. Was it actually a hit list? Yes. Yeah, it was circulating before we found it. So the timeline actually makes sense. That was the one thing I was confused. Like, it definitely read like a hit list, but the only thing I was confused about is why it was coming out so late. But no, it was circulating well before we translated the Morse code.
So you already knew who Kazuma-sama was, Mr. Sholmes?
Oh yes, Sholmes and I have exchanged correspondence for years. I've recounted many tales about Asoki to him in my letters, and news of Dr. Wilson's death, of course.
So, Dr. Wilson is dead then. I didn't know.
Oh, Iris. I mean, hey, it's not like he's your dad. Could have been much worse.
I know he wasn't my daddy, but still. That's very sad.
You still named yourself after him. That's fucked up. We gotta change that. Iris Naruhodo.
I'm so sorry, Iris.
Oh, I'm sorry. Iris Von Zeeks.
We knew the significance of the name, obviously, but...
Iris Faye. Oh, God, no.
we just couldn't bring ourselves to tell you.
Iris Naruhodo Von Zeeks. There you go. Progressive. Very progressive. We combine them. There you go. That's the ticket.
No.
I'm never gonna get married, but like... I'm never gonna get married, but if I did, there is no way in hell I could do the combined last name thing. I already have 2 middle names. I don't want 2 last names as well. That's just too much. I don't want to be that person. What you just told us, Mr. Sholmes, doesn't completely tie in with the facts. There's one big hole in your hypothesis.
A big hole, Mr. Naruhodo?
Ah, yes, you mean about Asashin, I presume.
Oh, of course.
Exactly. She wasn't killed, was she? Yeah, also, what the fuck did she do? Her, too. Like, literally, presumably sent her to Japan to murder Wilson. Somehow kept the fact that she was also on that same list from her. And then got killed randomly by a third party before anyone officially tied into the conspiracy could get her. Like, what the fuck? She was in Japan, posing as a visiting student from under the assumed name of Giselle Brett.
I'm glad you're keeping up, my dear fellow. I only became aware of that fact 2 days ago in the foyer of the Great Waterloo Hotel.
It was somehow Dahlia. It's always Dahlia.
Upon hearing that startling revelation, the hypothesis that I'd formed surrounding those 4 names was completely turned topsy.
What? Topsy? Was it a fucking weird-ass pecking order? No, because it's out of order. I was like... like, okay, you kill this person, and then this person will kill you, and then this person will kill you. Murder dominoes. What do you mean when you say our hypothesis was turned topsy, Mr. Sholmes?
I believed all 4 names on the list were the names of victims.
Oh! Oh! Okay. Wait. What's the fucking order, though? Oh, they'll tell us again in a second. It was set up like the one we found in Gregson. That's right, Gregson had that list that was set up the same way. But wait a minute.
Very much so. Asashin was a killer. So this telegram is a list of both victims and killers, is it?
That would mean that Wilson was... or Gregson... Wait, okay, one second. I need to actually see the order. Seriously. Or do we have it? It's evidence now. Can we actually read it? Do I have to wait? Okay, yeah. So is it horizontal or vertical? Who was supposed to kill who? That would mean Gregson was supposed to kill Kazuma? I guess? Or no? Because it's upside down. What? Explain. Who was trying to kill who?
It was dispatched with the sole intention of dispatching Dr. Wilson. Her visiting student status being merely a front.
Ah, hi, Minato.
Which would, of course, explain why no motive could be determined for her actions.
So the real reason Dr. Wilson was killed by Asa Shin is because he was the target of her assassination. I've seen the news. Yeah, well, I'm not there. It looks cool, but I'm not terribly enthused because of the writer involved. I am not a fan of Hideki Anno after what he's done to Evangelion. I do not trust the man. Hopefully it'll be fine, considering he mostly seems to just hate his own fan base and Eva. I've heard Shin Godzilla was good, but still, nonetheless, I'm not getting my hopes up.
Forearmed with that knowledge, fresh consideration of this telegram puts the list in a very different perspective.
I was gonna say, I'm very confused. Was Gregson always a target? Or was he supposed to kill Kazuma? And if so, why are the fucking things upside down? And if not, why did they just assume Kazuma was gonna be an assassin for them, even back then? What do you mean?
Well, does it not strike you there is another among the four, who subsequently became a visiting student?
Wait, you mean...
But of course, a name you know only too well.
You mean... Kazuma?! Oh!
He did say in court earlier today.
On 31st October, I accompanied Inspector Grayson to Dunkirk.
That was way back then, though. Bruh. I find it very hard to believe you were in on any of that back then.
I'm Gilbert Godfrey. This shit makes no sense. Young Mr. Asoki accepted the mission a year ago now.
Surely not.
In conclusion, this document is a contract of sorts. An international agreement, one might say. Detailing an assassination exchange.
An assassin exchange? How the fuck would he have got involved with that?
Let's assume we have two parties, each one wishing to dispose of a distinct individual. Those two parties then make a contract to swap their respective assassination targets. That will then be an assassin exchange.
So to begin with, the British assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Japan, where she kills her target. And then the Japanese assassin is dispatched as a visiting student to Britain in order to eliminate his target. It certainly does sound like an exchange.
But what on earth is the point of that?
Don't forget, Naruto, that the British assassin at least escaped conviction. Thanks to diplomatic immunity afforded by a consular jurisdiction.
Oh, yeah. Can't touch this.
Such jurisdiction would be null and void under the terms of the new treaty between our two countries. So the fact that it was brought into play suggests an intervention at the very highest levels.
The highest levels?
These murders were by two sides of the same coin, linked not by a common motive, but by contractual agreement. As such, they appeared utterly unrelated. Yet in truth, the assassins were complicit in one singular devilish scheme. That disassociation and the safeguard of diplomatic immunity were, I believe, the motivation behind this plot. But wait a minute, Jones. If this telegram really is describing the exchange of assassins you're suggesting, it would mean the Japanese killer's target was never Seishiro Jigoku at all. That would mean Asoki's target was actually Inspector Gregson.
What? Kazuma was here for Gregson? So Judge Jigoku wasn't actually the mark?
Yes, that's exactly what it would mean.
I hold myself personally responsible for failing to keep the inspector safe.
I'll forgive you for that one. I'm more mad about the cheating.
Mr. Sholmes.
I told him my fears and implored him to seek a transfer to an overseas position. Obviously, with the young pickpocket in tow.
Yeah, Gina. Oh my god, he actually remembered that she exists. Come to think of it, Inspector Grayson did mention that at the Great Exhibition. That he'd be transferring to Paris Police and taking Gina with him. If Cosmic killed Gregson, yes, that'd be bad, because that'd mean he'd be in jail. And also, like I said, how the fuck did that work all the way back then? Like, I find it very hard to believe he was roped into all this shit at that point.
Without informing me, he engaged in one last assignment, it seems, and sadly, it turned out to be his very last.
This is too much to take in.
All right, everyone, that's quite enough murder business. Isn't it, Hurley? I mean, look at the time.
Ah, quite right, Iris. We must conclude our preparations for tomorrow.
What preparation?
Well, I think I'll make my way back to my hotel room now. This has certainly been a night to remember.
It is a little bit sad, though. I mean, I like the idea of you being my daddy.
Aww. God, she wanted a sister. Oh, baby. Please let it be, assuming my line of thinking is correct, please let it be either the other Von Zeeks or Genshin, so she can get some kind of relative, like an actual blood relative out of this whole business. I know she's got found family, but god damn it. Poor baby.
Because then Susie would have been my big sister.
She already is, honey. I'm sorry, Iris.
I know, Iris. I was thinking quite the same thing.
Were you?
But if somebody like me would be worthy, I'd be delighted to become your sister.
What? Really?
Oh yes, without question.
So, you'll teach me all the ways, to throw Bruno on the floor?
Yes, of course. It would be my pleasure.
I've made a huge mistake. You didn't have to agree quite so readily.
Oh, but wait a minute. If Susie's gonna be my big sister, you can be my big brother if you want, Bruno.
Huh? I mean, yeah, sure. Why not? If you'll have me, I'll gladly be your brother. Not good enough.
Well done, Iris. We must be mindful of the feelings. I've raised you so well.
Because being sensitive is your strong suit, naturally. I'm in danger.
Right, I'm gonna work extra hard for tomorrow now. Because it's for my big brother and sister.
Hi, Chloe. I'm doing all right. How about yourself? What's all this about preparing for tomorrow? Preparing what?
Hee hee. Tee tee. You'll just have to wait and see.
Oh. He's a little too young to be your dad. I get it.
Good luck in court tomorrow. I'm expecting a sterling performance.
I'll do my very best, like no one ever was. Of course. So the overnight break in the trials proceedings became a crucial turning point. Was that really the only investigation? Oh god. I thought for sure we'd get more evidence. Uh-oh. Had to have a biopsy yesterday? Oh god, Jesus, I'm sorry. Yeah, I hope all is well. Hope everything comes back negative, whatever they're looking for. Godzilla, thank you for boosting the stream, and thank you for the sip. This is case 5. This is the last one. Exposing new truths whilst pursuing... Exposing old truths whilst posing new conundrums. What is the best breakfast bread? Biscuits and gravy, pancakes, waffles, cinnamon rolls, donuts, French toast, muffins, croissants, or bagels. There can be only one. I do not like biscuits and gravy. I think gravy is disgusting as a breakfast food in general. Pancakes are valid, waffles are valid. French toast is probably my personal favorite out of all this. I will go with French toast. That list of names on the telegram in Judge Goku's office. and the extraordinary assassination plot in which my best friend had somehow become involved. I felt as if I'd been plunged into an even greater darkness all of a sudden. But at the same time, I felt sure I would see the light again soon. See, cinnamon rolls are also really good, but I also don't consider those breakfast food. Because if I get cinnamon rolls, you know what I do? I get fucking Cinnabons. I get Cinnabon cinnamon rolls. And I don't have those for breakfast. I have to eat, like, those things are way too rich and fattening. I have to eat those, like, half at a time. I can't even eat a full one unless it's the little mini ones. Things are gigantic and delicious. But they ain't breakfast food. At the same time, I felt sure I would see the light again soon. Because I was lucky enough to have the most wonderful family in the world standing steadfastly behind me. I'm sad that Barack's not in this photo. I get that he wasn't at dinner, but come on. Went in for a physical and ended up leaving with blood work, biopsy, and ultrasound. Jesus Christ, Purple. Ooh. Yeah, glad everything's okay so far. Hope it remains that way. God, I can't remember the last time I went to a doctor. Gregson looks so dapper. Chloe, that's not Gregson. That's the superior man with a bowler hat and mustache. That's Susato's dad. He just happens to dress suspiciously like Gregson. Because time period. Everyone looked alike. Oh yeah, Gregson died. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was a real tragedy.
Before we begin today, I have a brief announcement. As with the close trial 10 years ago, some astonishing facts have come to light in these proceedings. The revelation that is well known as the Reaper is actually an organization illegally executing its own brand of justice. And the discovery that a respected yard inspector was at the heart of it himself until he perished in an assassination plot. Well, I say to all members of the judiciary present here on this occasion, that we will stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings.
Gina's okay. She's not taking it too well. Von Zeeks is the suspect, so she's been like putting up, and we're obviously defending him, so she's been having some issues with that. But she's being pretty level-headed, all things considered. Like, she was like, okay, Runo, or Odal, if you don't think he did it, I'm willing to humor you. But if he did, there's gonna be a storm today. There's a storm coming. Oh my god, I cannot talk today. I am so sorry. It's my fault. I've been replaying Xenoblade 2 in my free time during my off time. It's rotting my brain. Even skipping all the cutscenes, it's rotting my brain. Clearly. Also, where are our boyfriends? Sholmes is no longer a boyfriend. He cheated on us with Susato's dad. He's a man whore. He's dead to us. Kazuma is being kind of a bitch right now, and I'm not sure how to feel about it, especially with this possible fly in the ointment now that he was planning to be an assassin even back before we left Japan in the first game, which I don't know that I buy, but whatever. It's all Barack. We are all in on Barack coin. Invest now. Is Xenoblade 2 really long, even skipping all the cutscenes? No, it goes by pretty fast. I've got like 20 hours logged in at this point. I just started chapter 6. It goes by pretty fast. Those cutscenes are pretty grindy. You've been grinding costumes in Xenoblade 2? Nice. Yeah, I never got all the costumes in any of my playthroughs. Maybe I'll do that this time. Who knows? Von Zeeks. We are all in on Von Zeeks because he's the only one who isn't a man whore or a bitch. Invest in Barack coin.
I will stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings. Counsels, you will undertake this trial with the resolve to pursue the truth till the bitter end.
So, New Game Plus for another fresh play? Fresh play. I felt like collecting all the I felt like collecting all the rare blades again. It's fun. I actually enjoy the gacha system. Resolve, yes, that's my intention.
My lord, if I may inquire.
The defendant may speak.
Yes, he has a unicorn staff. Fresh play, but it's rotting my brain again. Like I said, even skipping all the cutscenes. It's fine. Or I'm just tired. It could be I'm just tired. I just saw an opportunity to shit on Xenoblade 2 again a little, and I took it.
On what grounds is Kazuma Asogi permitted to continue acting in his role as prosecutor?
He admitted to being part of a fucking assassination plot.
I call mistrial.
He is admitted to colluding with the victim in a plot to assassinate an innocent man.
Can I prosecute myself? It'll be funny. He shouldn't be enjoying the privilege of freedom, let alone be leading the prosecution. I submitted a written petition to Lord Strongheart, requesting the judgment of my transgressions be delayed by 1 day.
You did what?
In today's proceedings, I intend to expose everything. If you take off your pants, I quit.
My whole life for the last 10 years has all been leading up to this 1 day.
Kazuma.
Whatever the outcome of this trial, I give my word that I will accept whatever punishment is deemed appropriate. However severe. And I suggest you prepare yourself for the same, Reba.
Reba, Greba, where you get those Greba? Went through all legendary cores. I opened all my legendary cores pretty early. But hey, I got Zenobia super early again, so that was nice. And no Dahlia this time. Woo! No curse. Kazuma's bursting with hostility today. I get the distinct impression we're heading into a very dangerous territory.
Is it really even Kazuma-sama standing before us?
What's with Gilbert Godfrey being major villains in games? It just works. I mean, technically it started with Gant. Gant in Ace Attorney 1 also had the Gilbert impression. I don't know, it just works. Who knew Gilbert Gottfried had a good villain voice? I did, because I watched the Ninja Turtles reboot. What about Corvin? I got Corvin. Corvin's free. I cracked him open as soon as I got Morag. I always put him on Morag.
An extreme exception to normal practices. I have granted this prosecutor's request. The defense finds this acceptable, I presume.
I mean, what am I gonna do? Fist fight you? Yes, my lord. Gilbert Gottfried is a very sweet man, but he's also a very talented actor who happens to be very good at villains. Again, he killed it as Krang Subprime in the Ninja Turtles reboot. Any tips for getting good blades, Abyss? Not really. Just, like I can tell you methods for grinding core crystals. I know plenty of those. if you need help on that front, but otherwise, yeah, it's just pure RNG. Like you can kind of tilt it towards getting certain ones by using the boosters, but even that seems like it's a toss up most of the time. But yeah, generally speaking, just keep cracking them open.
In that case, in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed hearing of Barack Von Zeeks.
The defense is ready, my lord.
The prosecution is more than ready.
I'm so glad Kazuma's a prosecutor. It's so fresh. He's so original.
Very well then, this preamble has taken long enough. Prosecutor Asogi, begin!
As you wish, my lord, the prosecution calls the first witness to the stand. Bring Seishiro Jigoku into the courtroom.
At last then, we reach the final battle. He's putting literally everything on the line now in order to get to the truth. Come on, Ryunosuke. Time for that steely resolve, because this is gonna test it to the limit. Am I gonna redo my Ace Attorney tier list after this game? Probably. His name is Barack. No. Invest in Barack coin. No. Then I would call it Obama coin. I don't even know if it's supposed to be pronounced the same way. It's just how I've been going with it because it's funnier that way.
My fellow Americans.
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court.
Ah, so it was you who issued this, was it?
Your subpoena? I did what was necessary, yes.
Well, look what a young man has become. I didn't think I'd see the day when you'd take that tone with me, I must say. Arr. The witness will ensure his responses are pertinent to the questions asked.
He seems so jovial. It's a shame, like, despite not being the normal judge, I kind of like this guy. Unfortunately, he is... in the second game, he has just been sus from day fucking one.
My name is Seishiro Jigoku, a Supreme Court judge from the Empire of Japan.
16 years ago, this man came to London as a visiting student. 6 years later, he returned to Japan. As well as presiding over the Supreme Court, he's also currently Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs.
I am, of course, fully aware of Mr. Jigoku and his preeminent roles. I invited him personally to the International Forensic Science Symposium as a representative of his country.
Are my gripes against Kazuma or against the game's writing? I guess the game's writing. Yeah. Because like I said, I'm sure I joke about him being a bitch, but I don't actually. I'm not harping on that as being a problem. Because I'm sure he has some keikaku with a keikaku going on. But yeah, just in general, the game's writing, forcing him into this position. It's just like, been there, done that.
I hear he also played a key role in the conclusion of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. Ah, it was a great honor to be involved with the negotiations. I put all my all into that treaty.
Judge Shikoku, I must ask.
Well, I never fancy the young murdering student turning up here of all places.
Need I remind you that I got acquitted for that? You acquitted me yourself, in fact! That... Ryunosuke, my boy, my dude. Oops. You complete me.
You are me!
Thinking about it would have made more sense if Mitsugi was the defendant. Maybe, yeah, you know what, you could've, yeah, actually, you could've found a way to make that work. Or maybe if the game had been a trilogy or something that maybe Von Zieks was the defendant here and Nosogi was the defendant somewhere else for murdering, so I don't know. Like I said, I kind of wish it had gone a different direction, that's all. I don't want to keep complaining about it, because there are people in the YouTube comments who are like, oh no, this is totally different. And I don't feel like arguing. I'm so tired. I'm doing good today! Nova's replaying my game! It's really good! She's enjoying it so much she's skipping all the cutscenes! And not playing as me at all now that she has Zeke!
Whoa!
Now I'm a practicing defense lawyer.
Yes, and full of self-importance like your friend across the courtroom, I see.
Oh, I said something about you being jovial? You're kind of salty, aren't you? You're a salty sailor. You came here to London by invitation to the International Forensic Science Symposium. But then, without informing anyone of your plans, you took flight to France. You also tried to hide in a box.
I was just reenacting Axel Lowe's theme song from Guilty Gear. My password is out of the box.
That's not how that works. You just sing the song.
Took flight. I'd have to object to that turn of phrase.
Then explain yourself. What exactly were the circumstances?
Well, I was somewhat expecting this. And I'm sorry to say, I decline to comment.
Nani the fuck?
Leaving the country prematurely when I was invited guest may be questionable etiquette. But my decision is unrelated to this case. I can't be bound to testify. Unrelated, you say? I instantly believe you. Case closed! I appreciate that a respected police inspector was killed, for which I offer my condolences. However, being an alien, I'd obviously never met the man, nor do I know the first thing about him. As such, I'm in no position to testify. It's simple as that.
Can we get Drebber back? Just do the robot in the background, please? That'd be kind of raw. So you would run from all this?
I beg your pardon.
This case is more far-reaching than the murder of Inspector Gregson. It has ties to another murder, a case that was tried in Japan almost a year ago now. A year ago in Japan? The murder of Dr. John H. Wilson, you mean? That's right. And you, Judge Shikoku, are at the heart of both cases. The defense has evidence to prove it. Well, Ryunosuke, I see from the look in your eyes that you're resolved to carry this through to the very end, too. Let's see your evidence, then. What proof do you have that Seishiro Jigoku was involved in this case? Scared that he knew case one from the very beginning? Yeah. Will this count? This seems like illegal evidence. In a modern trial, this would very much be illegal evidence. But this isn't modern. This is not modern.
Take that!
Thank you, 18th century. This is a telegram detailing a communication set between Britain and Japan approximately 1 year ago. The communication contained 4 names: K. Asogi, A. Shin, T. Gregson, and J. Wilson.
Why you little?
No! Where did you get that? Oh, fuck. Oh, he mad. Oh, no. Is he gonna break the fucking witness stand again? Uh-oh. Remember how he fucking manhandled Many Memo? We can't fight this man. If he gets angry, we're gone. Night-night, Chloe. You get some rest. Once again, good luck with everything. Hope everything turns up clean. Have a lovely evening. Oh, God.
You'll walk the plank for that accusation.
In Tokyo, from your office, Judge Shikoku. Thank you for immediately making yourself sus, by the way. If you had played it cool, you could have played dumb, because, like, where do we get this?
What? How on earth did you?
What's all this about? Why is my name on that list? The list of 4 names follows a certain pattern. T. Gregson and J. Wilson are the names of the victims. K. Yasogi and A. Shin are the names of assassins. No. Yeah, see, I believe him. Like, I don't believe he had any idea of what the fuck was going on all the way back then. Why would they, like, preemptively recruit him into the fold? A year ago in Tokyo, Dr. John Wilson's life was taken in a Western-style restaurant in the capital. The culprit was found to be some bitch who went by the name of Giselle Brett. Her real name was Assassin, a professional killer sent on... Her name was Assassin, a professional... It sounds so fucking stupid when I say it out loud. It's so bad. I'm sorry, this is the worst one. People are like, hey, remember That's a Rebel? No, this is worse. At least all the Karain people had like random apostrophes and shit so you could like pretend they knew what they were doing. But this is just bad. God. Capcom, why? Real name, Aishin and her victim, J. Wilson. And the murder that just took place here in London was the counterpart to that crime. An assassin sent from Japan, also a visiting student. Kazuma Asogi. Even dead man? Yeah. date, man. Like I said, again, at least it's... I don't know. That one was pretty bad. I don't know. At least he was literally just a victim. Like, she's kind of ended up being a pretty major player, even in death. Mr. Solid. I stand by what I say. I still think this one's the worst. Again, if she were Japanese, maybe. If she were Japanese, maybe I could get away with it. Maybe they could get away with it. But, like, she's literally a fucking English woman named with a fucking Japanese-sounding last name. Like, fuck off. An assassin sent from Japan, also a visiting student, Kazuma Asogi, whose victim was the British police inspector, Tobias Gregson. K. Asogi and T. Gregson. One assassin from each country to kill a target residing in the other.
What exactly is the defense suggesting?
The thing that I just said? These two cases of murder, one that took place in Britain and one in Japan, were masterminded by a pair of individuals from each country as a form of assassin exchange. And the telegram the defense has acquired is proof of the international contract to kill. Assassin exchange sounds like a really, really fucking bad premise for like a shitty Danganronpa ripoff anime, doesn't it? What? The telegram was found in your office, Judge Shikoku. In other words, the mastermind in Japan was you. That's only in Japan, though, bruh. Judge Shikoku, what's all this about? And you, Kazuma, you lied. During yesterday's proceedings, you acknowledged that you'd accepted the assassination mission. But the mark wasn't Judge Shikoku at all. It was T. Gregson, Detective Inspector of Scotland Yard. Surprised they didn't use the Judge of the Trilogy as he is agent. The normal judge kind of looks like him. The Santa Judge. He's not the exact same design, but the regular judge looks a little bit like him. But yeah, definitely not the same guy. Probably should have just made him completely identical. The judge is just a fucking eldritch eternal being, like Mr. Hiruta or Winnie the Pooh. Ash showed all the name of the killing contract. Very impressive, Ryunosuke. But actually, I didn't lie. I merely obfuscated the truth. Oh, don't give me that shit! The name of the target I was ordered to kill never passed my lips yesterday. The idea that Seishiro Chikuku was the mark came entirely from you. You deliberately avoiding saying a name.
The defense claims these four names indicate some sort of international assassin exchange. I'm sure I speak for all present when I say that the very idea seems utterly absurd. Again, it's like a dumb anime premise. Well, Mr. Jikoku, what do you have to say for yourself? I plead the fifth, yar.
His silence only goes to prove his guilt.
There's another very important point in this new development brings to light. There's now a distinct possibility that the scene of Inspector Gregson's actual murder was in the witness's cabin aboard the SS Groose.
Judge Shikoku, you have to testify now. To refuse would put you in contempt of court.
There's no need for quite such a vicious stare, young man. Very well then, as a parting gift to you all, I'll tell you everything I know.
Look at fucking strong. He's like, watch your fucking tongue, boy. You're the ringleader of the Japanese side. Don't you go pointing fingers at the ringleader of the British side.
It seems that this Japanese gentleman has information that the court must hear about the alleged assassin exchange and the events of the night of the 31st October. Spooky. Present your formal testimony now. As you wish, my lord.
It looks like Chrono Trigger's Courtroom. I still need to play that.
It's true that Kazuma Asogi was assigned the assassination mission 1 year ago now. The target was Inspector T. Gregson. That was a condition of the British study tour. However, in the end, something happened. That meant the young man was unable to carry out his mission. On the evening in question, a member of the Corps was on duty outside my cabin at all times. If there had been a shot fired, the crewman would have heard it. So clearly it can't be involved.
We're in court already, yeah. That whole exposition dump with Sholmes wasn't that long, actually. Surprisingly. The way people were talking it up. So you admit it then, as this communication suggests. There really was an assassination exchange arrangement between Britain and Japan.
A political endeavor at the highest levels. Not something I can discuss here.
Jeez, such a worthy practice as foreign study to coerce somebody to commit murder. Pressing the third statement for an interesting tidbit. Ooh, okay. It's the most appalling thing I've ever heard.
Appalling? Well, it's easy to judge.
Pardon?
Asogi had a reason for taking a sword to that British inspector, you know.
What?
Which is why he accepted the mission in the first place. Isn't that right, Counsel?
Did Gregson help with the, with arresting your dad? And the possible frame-up? Depending on who was actually who in that whole thing? I find it, I have more and more doubts the longer it goes on about, Genshin actually being the culprit. Like, it's possible that, it's possible that he was, but, like, I don't know. With all the fucking and in which case, if it was, I don't get why they framed him up and then proceeded to, like, help get him off the hook and then kill him. I'm still very, very confused on that whole point. I know they'll explain, but just good God, just thinking about it makes my brain go like, what? Why? What were you trying to accomplish here? Kazuma-sama? Judge Shikoku, if you were the mastermind behind this operation in Japan, then tell the court the identity of your counterpart in Britain.
I'm not obliged to divulge that information.
As I said yesterday, I've killed nobody. I freely admit I accepted the mission, but on the night the plan was to be executed, I backed out. In short, the assassination exchange the defense has identified is unrelated to the events of this case.
The crucial point is this. Your police inspector can't have perished aboard that steamship in Dunkirk. Because if he'd been shot in the cabin, it's inconceivable that a member of the crew would have heard it.
You had fucking blankets stuffed in your pipes, brah. That's right. Gregson was killed after returning to London, in the room on Fresno Street. And the perpetrator of the crime was the Reaper, Barak von Zeeks. The prosecution's accusation remains unchanged. I don't believe this.
To think that a seemingly innocent foreign exchange program was a facade for such a Machiavellian dealing.
You bought Persona 5 Royal today? Oh my god, Joe! Did you know that Persona 5 Royal is one of the greatest video games ever made? You're gonna enjoy it a lot. I, Gina Lestrade, can vouch for that. In all seriousness, have fun. That game's pretty good. Maybe not Gina good, but good.
Clearly it's a plot only a government minister and high-ranking judge such as the witnesses could hope to execute. Well, I seem to recall there was someone on the British side who controlled everything.
Target robbed you of a PS5 today? Those dicks.
Be that as it may, it's not the place of this court to pursue that villainous assassin exchange plot. We are only concerned with the tangible events pertaining to the murder of Inspector Gregson. Is the defense clear on that point, counsel?
I'm about to stab a bitch. Yes, my lord. I'll keep that in mind as I cross-examine the witness. Shoot, speaking of Spooky Month, I forgot. I gotta figure out a third idea for the movie night this month. Like, how do we come up with 3 different horror themes? I had one that was, iconic slasher movies, which would be Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Halloween. And then I think we said the Evil Dead trilogy, but granted that's mostly because we just watched the Spider-Man trilogy. I wanted to possibly keep the Raimi train going, but I don't know what a third one could be. I think I'd like to have at least 3 every month. I presume you're referring to the incident that occurred during Cosmo's passage to Britain in January. The awful tragedy that took place on the steamship.
Word arrived at the ministry some 2 weeks after the ship's departure from our shores. The visiting student had been killed, but his body had somehow gone missing in Hong Kong. The news was wired to me from a detective I placed on the ship to accompany the assassin.
Something kind of sad, Bessie. What happened? Obviously, Cosmo didn't actually die, though. But he did lose his memory, including all the details about a special mission.
Did you not consider dispatching another assassin at that point?
Oops.
That wasn't possible, simply because...
Cartoon, Halloween films like Zombie Island or the New Courage crossover. Oh, that could be cute.
The black-clad young student over there had already put himself forward as Hisogi's replacement.
Have the Genshin fanboys review bomb Breath of the Wild and Zero Horizon. I don't know. As far as I know, that's stopped. And Google is currently in the process of removing most of the negative reviews. That was so fucking stupid, though, review bombing unrelated games. Good God.
There was no way to stop it from reaching Britain. Huh. My hands were completely tied.
So Mr. Shalm's strategy worked perfectly. Why were they review bombing? Because Genshin's anniversary awards were hot garbage. And MiHoYo was censoring people speaking out about it on most platforms, like Reddit and all the Chinese forums and the Discord. So literally the only way people could protest was by spamming dead Chi-Chi emotes in the Discord and by review bombing. Because they literally had no other platform. Literally tried to silence people. Yeah, it was fucked up. Now they gave us a whole 10 extra rolls, and most people are saying, oh, it's fine now. It's like, no, that's still not very much. Terry's backstory is an homage to V3's. Oh, that's why that one meme says I am not whatever V3's real name is. Climax here attacked his father, mother, little sister. Aww. Sean Chiplock got angry. I saw that. I was gonna say I love Sean Chiplock. He's a cool guy, but like his post was angry about the review bombing. I'm sorry, but the review bombing thing is just fucking funny, because of course Google's gonna step in and remove all the automated ones. Like that was just people protesting to protest. If you're gonna be mad at anything the fan base has done over the last few days, be mad at them for harassing the voice actors, which had more to do with Kokomi not being a good character than anything else. Like, the review bombing is not something to get fucking angry and defensive about, bruh. The Genshin fanbase is shit for a lot of things, but that, bruh, no. He predicted everything that would happen. Months later, my memory returned, but I never intended to go through with the assassination mission anyway.
So you were paying me right from the outset, were ya? Is that it?
I'd sooner be guilty of that crime than taking someone else's life. I was prepared to do whatever I had to do in order to get myself here to Britain.
This line of questioning has gone on long enough. All the court should be concerned about in the testimony given by this witness are details relating to his relationship with Inspector Grayson and the victim's murder. In that case, I've already made perfectly clear I had no connection to the man or his death. So if you have some means for substantiating this plea.
Clown said your golden beer out. Nice. Hold it! Oh shit, didn't mean to. God damn it. Shit! No! Yeah, no offense, that wasn't that interesting. I mean, I guess it's confirmation that, yeah, Kazuma did agree to this shit way back then. But, I don't know. This whole thing is weird. This entire plot element is just kind of like, whatever. Outside your cabin in the first class area of the SS Cruise, you mean?
Yes, that's right. Not least because there was a murder of a student passenger earlier this year, I imagine. The liner operations have been taken to a posting room and outside every first class cabin door. I
I can confirm the presence of the crewman and guard myself. What do you mean? Because I accompanied Inspector Grayson to Dunkirk that night, I witnessed it with my own eyes. There was a well-bit crewman standing guard directly in front of the door to the witness's cabin.
At that particular time, of course, I'd gone to the ship's dining room for dinner.
The inspector and I asked the crewman to allow us into the cabin while we waited for Judge Shikoku's return. I suppose Inspector Grayson was there in his capacity as the Reaper. It was intending to take the witness's life. Exactly, as I've said numerous times now. I had no intention of killing anyone. So the crewman let two potential assassins into the cabin he was supposed to be guarding. Not the most convincing of centuries, really. In truth, those were my thoughts too. But anyway, I stayed to talk with Inspector Grayson for a short while. And then I left him there and made my way off to the ship alone. Was the guard still at the door when you went? Yes, he glared at me as I walked past.
You see, that proves it.
Hold it!
Yeah, people are saying this is interesting, but I'm sorry, this whole plot point feels very kind of tacked on, just like, whatever. A year ago, when Kazuma was in Japan, then.
Correct. It was at the examination center for applicants in the study tour that I approached him.
I'll never forget it. I remember exactly what you said. You just came out and asked me forthright if I considered traveling to Britain on an assassination mission. Surely not. Falling off a bit. Just this whole element. Like, this whole assassin training thing feels very silly. Because, like, what's the fucking point? Why would you think it was a good... Like, he was there for all this shit 10 years ago. Why the fuck would you think it's a good idea to recruit the guy who you possibly helped frame for murder? Or the son of the guy? Like, this whole shit is just kind of falling off. Like, because obviously it's Jikoku. It's obviously fucking Jikoku who killed Gregson. So I just kind of want to get all this bullshit over with and get to the Baskerville stuff. All this stuff just is not terribly interesting. Feels kind of tacked on, like I said. I thought it was a joke, of course, but then... It was made clear to me that if I didn't accept, I wouldn't be considered for the study tour. So you agreed to it just for that? I mean, I know how much you wanted to study in England, but good God! Assassination?
The Empire of Japan had accepted a proposal from the British Empire at the time. An agreement to send a student from each country to the others to deepen cultural understanding and friendship. But behind the scenes, the chosen students were to be given assassination missions. I had no choice but to accept the proposal that originated from my British counterpart.
Overstayed its welcome? Oh no, it's the exact opposite, actually. The problem is that by condensing it into 2 games, when it was possibly originally supposed to be 3, and now this weird combination of story decompression and whatever the opposite would be called. Because, like, they've dumped so much info. They dumped so much info in the last case that it ended up extending into 2 ones. And yet that's still not enough. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it. But just the pacing is kind of off the rails in several different directions. That's the only way I can think to describe it.
I had no choice but to accept the proposal that originated from my British counterpart.
Why? Why didn't you just expose the plot right there and then? They're both bloated and taking too much. Yeah, I guess. I know that sounds contradictory, but like it genuinely feels that way. It's very weird. I don't know how to quite describe it, and I'm not gonna keep harping on it until, you know, everything's out there. But right now, I just know that, like I said, just some of this. So, Build, I didn't want to go there. I didn't want to go there, but a little. But like I said, it's just all this stuff. Like I said, we're just going through the motions right now. Blame the budget? Possibly blame the budget, or bad sales.
Britain acknowledges no part in these alleged misbegotten dealings. I plead the 5th. I advise you not to make spurious allegations, Foreign Minister Jikoku. As a witness, I am bound to tell the truth, my lord. Anyway, I picked this Ogie, explained the details of the plan to him.
And also, here's a problem, especially. I don't have any actual evidence from that crime scene that Sholmes and Mikatoba looked at. So I can't just immediately present stuff like the fact that he had the blanket stuffed in the, what the hell's that thing called? You know what I mean. He had the blanket stuffed in so no sound would have been heard. Yes, I do. Let me put it this way. I have evidence there, but not the actual evidence I want. I still can't show a picture of the thing. So I don't know what else to do.
Hold it!
The crewman who was standing directly outside your cabin door, I mean.
That's right, a muscular man with a permanent grim expression on his face. He didn't once move from that spot. To be honest, I thought he was a miserable fellow. But as it happens, he's a vital witness now.
Oh yeah, happy birthday, Zenkichi. There's no doubt that Gregson was killed by a gunshot. And it's inconceivable that a crewman standing just outside the cabin door wouldn't have heard that. But wait, what about the ship's enormous steam engines? The noise of them could have drowned out the sound of the gun being fired.
Sadly, young judicial assistant, that won't wash.
Oh?
You would recall my cabin was a first-class area of the ship, which is also, of course, the quietest. I don't imagine for a moment that it's anything like steerage where judicial assistants go.
Well, fuck you too. But a hole like that made by a bullet was found in your cabin, Judge Shikoku. That's compelling evidence a gun was fired in there. What's that? A bullet hole?
Oh, yes, you're talking about that with the detective uncovered in the wall yesterday, I presume. That sign was obviously a rotten panel eaten up by a woodworm. No doubt he didn't find an actual bullet.
I'm sorry. I had a moment. The idea of a woodworm being on a boat just gave me war flashbacks to that animated Christopher Columbus movie. With the talking woodworm voiced by Corey Feldman, who helped Christopher Columbus discover America and dethrone the evil swarm lord and save the fairy princess. I'm sorry. I hear the guy's talking about a woodworm being on a boat, and my mind went there. Because remember, for years I thought I hallucinated that goddamn movie. I watched that movie in history class. I've talked about this before. It's a fucking Italian animated movie about Christopher Columbus discovering America that added a plot involving a talking woodworm voiced by Corey Feldman and defeating an evil bug monster. What's the fucking name of that thing? Columbus. Sounds familiar? 1 second. If you know it, you'll know it. The Magic Voyage, that's it. I was saying the Magic Journey. This fucking thing. He just wished he didn't remember it, this piece of shit. I think I did not realize this was a real movie until the Nostalgia Critic reviewed it. I genuinely thought I hallucinated it, because why the fuck would you make this? Did they add the whole thing with Chris Columbus? They added him getting captured by Native Americans. He got captured and had to deal with the Native Americans trying to kill him while Corey Feldman tried to save the ferry and other shit happened. I watched this film in school, in history class. Good shit.
It was eaten by Corey Feldman, obviously.
There's a slight hole in this argument.
Sadly, I wasn't able to arrange for the crewman to be brought back to Britain with me.
What's the chance I'll enjoy Yakuza 4? Probably fine, because like I said, just no more heroes is a separate thing. This is one issue with this game. Otherwise, I'm genuinely enjoying this game, hence why I'm finishing it before I go on any kind of break. By the time I got bad news. Yakuza 4 is probably not happening for a hot minute. Like, not super long, but, like, it's not a priority right now. There's too much other shit coming out, and I need a break. Like, I definitely absolutely need to, like, take some kind of extended break. Yakuza 4 is just not a priority, especially with what mixed things I've heard about that game.
Obviously, if I got been fired in my cabin in the night in question, the defense implies, I would have been arrested on the spot, and it would have never made it to Britain in the first place. Very true. The witness's logic is sound. Since no gunshot was heard from the witness's cabin in the night in question, we must assume that the witness is telling the truth. Arrgh! Glad you seen sense, my lord.
Oops. They made you watch a porn movie in social studies? This is not a joke? What the fuck? I'm not finishing No More Heroes 3 next week. I'm done. I'm not done, but like that game is part of why I've been feeling so shitty lately. I'm not dealing with it right now. I don't know what I'm doing for sure, but it will not be No More Heroes 3. That game is on hiatus. I know Kazuma's already admitted to taking on this incredible assassination plot, but even so, hearing it confirmed by somebody else is still a real shock.
It's unforgivable. You see Kazuma-sama's feelings to manipulate him into agreeing to such a despicable plan.
No More Heroes 3 has given me a lot of issues. I'm not gonna get into it, because I don't want to even talk about that game right now, quite frankly. But we're playing this. I think Kazuma manipulated Judge Shigoku too. He completely double-crossed him.
Oh dear. It's hard not to see that as a stroke of brilliance on Kazuma-sama's part.
One way or another, though, Gregson ended up dead. I really think the murder must have happened aboard the steamship.
So you mean...
Judge Shigoku must be lying.
I know I shouldn't let my emotions cloud my judgment. But you must destroy Mr. Naruhodo.
I'm good. I just need to focus on this game. And not bad games. But yeah, I said at the top of the stream, like, what I think my plan's gonna be in terms of taking a break. I'll repeat it later if I need to, but right now. Are we doing After Dark today? Possibly. Depends on how long this takes. Okay, let me think then. All crew members required to assemble on the main deck in order to review evacuation procedures. Drill will take 20 minutes. Crew to resume duties. Okay, you did it during the drill then. I don't know if I can leap right to that. I don't know how you got away with staying on board. Maybe you hid in your trunk again. I don't know. But that's all I got.
Objection!
Hey. Yes, as the court has heard, there was a crewman posted outside Judge Shigoku's cabin. Night-night, Abyss. You have a good one. However, we can be sure that contrary to the witness's claim, the guard wasn't there at all times. What? I have here a notice of a particular event that was scheduled to take place on board the steamship on the 31st.
What? Where did you get that?
Please. I go through everyone's trash. It's evidence gathered by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. You were acquitted yesterday, if you remember. Or acquainted. Not acquitted. You're not acquitted. You better not get acquitted.
Sherlock Sholmes again. That salty sea dog.
According to this itinerary, after leaving the port of Dunkirk at exactly 10 p.m. for a period of 20 minutes, all crewmen of the SS Bruce were able to gather on deck for an evacuation drill. Oh, crew. Not crew and passengers. I'm an idiot. All crewmen were away from their posts, and during that 20-minute interval, of course, any gunshots emanating from your cabin would have been heard by no one. In summary, Judge Shigoku, you had ample opportunity to commit the crime.
Arrgh!
Objection!
A 20-minute window of opportunity. That's an excellent find for Yunosuke. But it amounts to nothing. Why? Because the witness clearly stated in his testimony that no incident occurred in his cabin. Unless you have some decisive evidence that can show his testimony to be false. Sure. No, he did have time to do this. Oh, but he said he didn't. Case closed. What? I get it, but what that phrasing? Good God. Your accusation is nothing more than conjecture. It's called the start. Conjecture is the start of formulating an argument, Kazuma. We're getting there, honey. Good God. Also, conjecture in, you know, combined with the fact that the gunshot was, whatever.
Very true. Well, counsel.
You think someone would do that? Go into the witness stand and just tell lies? Inspector Gregson was killed in Judge Shigoku's cabin that night. I'm certain of it. Because the defense has the evidence to prove it.
You will present evidence for the defense at once, counsel. What proof do you have that the victim's life was taken in Jigoku's cabin on 31st October?
We never did find out what this was. Am I right? Is this actually like is this actually a part of his watch? It kind of looks like it. Like it looks like a thing that would go on the top, and I think that was missing as well, right? Because I actually mistook which end the key went on before. See these little things all over the place, don't ya? It's part of a top of pocket watch. Yep. It's called the crown, I believe. It would be quite useless without one. The crown? So it sits on top, like what sits on top of a monarch's head? That's a very grand name for such a tiny part. But actually, I have to examine both to combine them. Oh, that's silly. That's so silly. Come on, they're literally saying it's the top of a pocket watch. What other pocket watch do we have? Yes, Mr. Naruhodo? If this is a crown, I have a feeling I might have seen a monarch around here somewhere with a very bare head. If by monarch you mean pocket watch, then I'm quite sure you have. Granted, I don't know. Like, this seems like it should be a big thing, but what is this gonna prove? We already knew he was in the room. I guess just the fact that it broke off, it would have had to have broken off at that exact moment. That feels more like conjecture than the thing Kazuma was saying felt like conjecture, but okay. Last of the face is badly cracked. Look, oh, I probably have to look at the top, don't I? Yeah. Useful man to have around, in fact. Shame about the cheating thing. It's silly but not bullshit. It's silly but not bullshit. Exactly, there is a difference. I do get it, because like I said, we were so focused on the fact that it was cracked last time, I never actually examined the top part. Or I think I did, but like I said, that was only because I thought that was where the key went at first. Like, this part was not important before. What do you think, Mr. Sato? I feel I know exactly what'll fit here. Really? I was just thinking precisely the same thing. We're about to see what the very left... We're about to see that little round component is actually part of Inspector Gregson's broken pocket watch. Really? Just thinking precisely that too! We just figured out Blue's Clues because we're really smart. A perfect fit. I knew it. What are some examples of bullshit in Ace Attorney? I'd be hard-pressed to remember a lot of them off the top of my head. The most bullshit one in this game, / the one I most remember, was last week with the name of the ship not being written on the ticket. The fact that we had the fact that we had written words on the ticket where some were legible and others weren't. Yet you had to actually examine it to get the name specifically. That was bogus. No reason it could have been just written out on the ticket in addition to the rest of the legible English. Alright, perhaps you knew it. I'll make a note of this new information at once. Here's the thing though, now do I present that or this? Has that been updated now that we know where it's from? Yes, okay.
Take that!
Judge Shigoku, this was found in your cabin yesterday. For a second I thought that was wrong and I was already like...
What is that? The crown of a pocket watch? A pocket watch?
If you will observe, the victim's pocket watch, which we know he treasured, is missing precisely that part.
It can't be!
Moreover, this crown is a perfect fit on the spindle protruding from the victim's watch. Now, the fact that this was retrieved from Judge Shigoku's cabin tells us the victim was victim's watch was almost certainly broke there. In other words, the victim was killed on the 31st during the 20-minute evacuation drill in the cabin occupied by you, Judge Shigoku. I like his ponytail.
Well, you're razor sharp, aren't you, you young murderer?
Objection!
Especially since the first game, the user seat had case 5 message on the back, includes Miguel. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, if none of the writing on it had been legible, that'd be one thing. But the fact that some was and other stuff wasn't, and had to be further examined, that was silly. You just got Shincho and Genshin. Ooh, very nice, Natsurugi. He's a very good unit. Very, very good support character. Turnabout Big Top? What's the plot hole on Big Top? I'm a weirdo who actually really likes Big Top. So unless it's something beyond the kind of bullshit clown shoes physics that had to make certain things happen, then expertly maneuvered, Ryunosuke. And your argument sounds entirely plausible. At first. Gotta go, Ren. Nighty night. Feel better. But rather like this pocket watch, it's full of cracks. Do go on. I believe Judge Shigoku feels the same way.
I was wrong to acquit you earlier in the year.
I'm sorry?
If I know that it was results in anyone having to listen to this drivel, I would have declared you guilty just to spare the word of your ridiculous bombast.
I don't like you anymore. I don't like your ponytail.
I think it's clear that the witness will have to give further testimony. When you hear what actually happened in my cabin that night, you'll notice the pitfall into which you've stumbled. Prior to your renewed testimony, I would like to clarify one point. The fact that this part of the victim's watch was discovered in your cabin. That means you acknowledge he was there, I presume. Yes, I do. You see, he slipped on a banana peel and it cracked, but then he left. That is all. Very well, then. Go ahead. You may proceed to give your formal testimony about exactly what happened in your cabin aboard the ship on the evening of 31st October. Of course. As a man of the law, I have no intention of obstructing justice.
After the ringmaster left to meet Acro, Galactica remained in the office unaware that anything was wrong until the police arrived. However, he also claimed to have hidden Benjamin's puppet in the ringmaster's office. Would have been after the ringmaster left the office. Since Woodman had Trillo with him, he saw Russell enter the office. Therefore, Galactica would have had to have left the office in order to steal Trillo. I mean, I guess. But the fact is that never ended up being relevant at all. Like, I don't remember the details of that finally. Like, obviously Max didn't do it. Just feels irrelevant. Maybe it's a plot hole technically, but like, I don't care. I'm sorry. But again, I'm a weirdo who actually likes Big Top. If that was the straw that broke the camel's back for people who dislike it, then hey, I get it.
I had a guest waiting for me when I returned to my cabin after finishing my evening meal in the dining room. When I walked through the door, a mustached Englishman was there, foolishly waving a gun at me. I soon took care of him with some eye-posed throw, though. He couldn't wait to run away after that. I imagine his watch was broken when I threw him over my shoulder. It has nothing to do with his murder.
That's why you completely claim that you never even met the guy. That's why you didn't feel the need to mention this information sooner. Bruh.
The inspector was clearly killed having returned to Britain because his body was found in London.
I miss Mo. He was a good man.
Ippon sale. What?
A common jujutsu martial arts technique in my country. I was careful not to use too much force, but the man obviously landed too heavily for his watch to take.
So, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I imagine you can see the flaw in your logic now, can't you? I can't believe I presented an argument based on the information I had at the time, that now has holes in it based on information that was being withheld from me. Wow, you sure did own me, Kazuma.
What?
The fact that the pocket watch was broken in the witness's cabin. Not that kind of jujutsu, sadly. In no way proves the victim's murder took place there. Oh my god, I can't believe he owned me. I'm still fucking reeling from that thing I got spoiled on with jujutsu. Like, I need to understand. I need to understand how the fuck that happens.
I have no doubt the inspector intended to kill me. But he didn't manage to pull the trigger.
I'm not gonna look it up. I'll either fucking keep waiting or read the manga at some point. I need to blacklist. I know. Something from the manga, yeah. Something that allegedly won't get adapted until like season 3 at the earliest. Something I really should not have found out. But I just happened to see it completely out of context. And it could have just been a joke. I was like, okay, this could just be a joke, or this could be like something that's maybe not literal that happens later, and I don't know.
Curious what it is?
I'll type it. You know what? I'm gonna put it in spoiler chat. I'm not gonna look at anything else in spoiler chat. I'm just looking at the typing message thing. I'm gonna put it in spoilers in spoiler chat. I don't want to say because I don't want it to be ruined for anyone else. No, it's fine. Like I said, it was so fucking random. It was literally just a shitpost. Like, with any other show, I would have been like, oh, okay, people are just memeing. If it had been any other show, I would have been like, okay, people are making a joke. But because it's Jujutsu Kaisen, I was like, oh, wait, shit. This might be literal. Okay, nobody click on that, and let me get the hell out of this room immediately. Alright. Because he was merely the tactician, not the Reaper's hand to death.
Well, the testimony appears to make perfect sense as far as I can tell. Let me express my deep gratitude for your understanding, my lord.
If this testimony holds, Judge Chikaku will be deemed to have no involvement in the case.
Well, counsel, I really see no reason for wasting precious court time here on a cross-examination.
Sorry, my lord. The defense has a right to cross-examine, and I don't intend to squander that.
You're an embarrassment to your countrymen, not knowing when you're beaten.
I'm not beaten, bruh. You literally just made up some new shit the second I had you pinned on one thing. This is not Keikaku. You are not Bloodstock.
In that case, proceed, Mr. Naruhodo.
I expected you to be a little better at this kind of thing, not gonna lie, with how deep your involvement is in this whole fucking fiasco. That's probably the funniest thing to be spoiled about. Like I said, I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad. It doesn't de-incentivize me. If anything, it motivates me to actually read the manga at some point and figure out what the hell's happening, because I don't want to wait for the anime. Because it's so fucking batshit out of context. So that's his story.
Well, I suppose if you think about it, whenever you drop a teacup in the office and it breaks, we don't say Mr. Naruhodo must have been murdered there, do we?
Is that a veiled threat about what might happen to me if I break another one?
And the fact is that Inspector Gregson's body was found in the little room on Fresno Street. If he really was killed in Judge Jigoku's cabin.
The body would have to have been moved somehow, obviously. Transporting a dead body over a country border. That would be impossible for a majority of people. So there must have been some special circumstances that made it possible for the culprit then.
That could be a vital realization, I think, Mr. Naruhodo.
Just saw the post, what the fuck, right? Like I said! Like, I have several questions. God. I need to understand. Like, comment, subscribe so I can afford the manga. Because while I can apparently read it relatively cheap on Business Site, I like physical media. I'd like to buy the physical volumes. If I can't afford statues, then that seems like the next best thing, right? Read stream one day? Oh, that could be kind of fun. Maybe, yeah, actually, that could be kind of relaxing. I need to think about this a little bit, I think. Because, yeah, how could he have been moved? We know he was probably stored in the freezer for a while on the ship. They mentioned that. Sooner or later you'll be playing Anal Clown's route. I'm so sorry, Secret. Godspeed. Skip the cutscenes if you have to. Xenoblade 2, that shit. Or like a group watch read and read the characters in the voice. Oh, that could be fun. Yeah, we'll see. Like I said, things are a little hectic right now. But that seems like it could be a fun idea.
Hold it!
But there's no evidence that proves the victim ever returned to London alive.
Just take a moment to think that idea of yours through now, Stripling.
What?
If the inspector was killed on the steamship in France, how on earth could he have gotten back to Britain? When people die, their bodies remain at that same spot. It's a devil of a thing.
Well, then... obviously the culprit must have moved the body.
How exactly? Carrying a corpse off a ship in your arms would raise a few eyebrows at least, don't you think?
Well, yes, that's true, but...
All passenger luggage is inspected when it's unloaded from arriving vessels. And I would like to think the border police would query the corpse of an English gentleman as hand luggage.
If the murder had taken place aboard the ship, you imagine the body would have been disposed of at sea. There would be no sense in risking being caught by attempting to transport the body back to Britain. Killed that idea then.
But perhaps not.
Mrs. Otto?
We've heard that the first-class passengers were under constant scrutiny by the crewmen posed to guard them. Which would mean the culprit had no opportunity to dispose of the body in the sea.
If I'm gonna read the JJK manga, warn me it spoils the events of Zero, so if I want to go into the movie blind, be warned. Okay, good to know. Yeah, that's true, so transporting the body to Britain may have been the only viable alternative.
Dear me, you really are new at this, aren't you? I thought I'd been perfectly clear, but it seems I'm going to have to explain it to you in words you can understand. I think to alter my testimony with your constant course, my lord.
Kazuma, no!
I have no objection. State your amended testimony now.
Oh, okay. Is there, though? It's like Gregson's trunk wasn't that big. You couldn't have fit him in his own briefcase. Now there's an idea.
Think about it, Stripling. All passengers and crew disembarked at the same time and passed through the same checks at the border. The symposium guests were driven straight to the hotel in carriages organized by the ministry.
And we met you as soon as you arrived at the hotel.
So you did. Well then, remind me, did I have a corpse over my shoulder at the time?
No, but you had your giant-ass briefcase that we know of, that we know someone could fit in. That was my first thought, but that's not evidence. That's the only thing I'm confused on. I'm hoping maybe pressing will lead to, like, something where we can actually point at the actual crime scene. Because, yeah, Gregson's was tiny.
So we're in agreement then. I couldn't have possibly brought the inspector's body back to Britain. Unless, of course, they developed some clever device these days to instantly move things.
Don't we have a photo of the crime scene? No, I don't think so.
Professor Hairbrain's invention didn't actually work, if you remember, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah, I know. But wouldn't it be cool?
You've become unusually quiet, because there's really nothing more to say.
Because I remember, like, even when we first, even in the hotel, didn't he have a huge-ass briefcase? Like, I don't know. Yeah, no, we don't have any actual photos of the cabin. So I don't know. Yeah, no, I was like, this thing's not bigger than I'm thinking it is, right? No, this thing is tiny. Can I fucking call Sholmes? And say, hey, Sholmes, you forgot to give me a photo of the actual crime scene. Yeah, I probably need help because I have no idea. Like I said, we have so little fucking information from the actual scene. Because that was Sholmes and Mikatoba. And they did not see fit to give it to me. Oh, that photo. Okay, okay, yeah. God, I literally even remembered him carrying it. I literally even remembered him carrying it. I didn't think about that. I forgot about that. Okay.
Objection!
I'm still not sure how the fuck he got it past security, but whatever. There's no possible way you could have moved Inspector Gregson's body, you say? I would say the opposite's true.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Far from being impossible for you. Goodbye to my wallet. Uh-oh. No. What now? What now? Oh, the Mona figure. I already saw it. She looks great. She looks very cool. Figmas are nice. I think I'd rather have the statue, honestly. But yeah, shout out to my girl. She gets a nice... She's one of the first ones to get a nice-ass figure that's not just made by MiHoYo themselves, and now she's the first to get a Figma. My girl cleaned up nicely, but yeah, I'd rather have the statue. I like the statue. I like the pose, I like the base, and all the water effects. It looks very cool. But yeah, still, good for my girl. C4. The transporting of Inspector Gregson's body back to Britain is something only you can do.
What are you talking about, Ryunosuke?
As well as being a judge, Mr. Jigoku is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. Which means he's exempt from having his luggage searched when he enters the country. Oh, okay, fair enough. You see, I thought that might be a thing, but I was like, okay, no, there's gonna be like, oh no, you still have to be searched no matter who you are. We learned when we first met you, we learned that when we first met you upon your arrival in London.
Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took a rather lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that.
Fair enough.
I know you were jealous.
Heading out to finish Lost Judgment. Cool, Stu. You have a good one. Might be the After Dark group watch if you don't. Alrighty. I presume you recall this, Judge Goku? Like I said, I don't know if I'm doing it or not. It depends on how I'm feeling and how long this takes. It's a photograph we took on the foyer at the hotel to mark the occasion. As the court will note, you have with you a rather large travel trunk. Large enough, in fact, to have a corpse inside.
Mr. Naruhodo, surely you're not suggesting...
I'm afraid I am, yes. 3 days ago, when we were chatting innocently with the new arrivals from Japan in the hotel, the body of Inspector Gregson was just meters away from us, inside Judge Kikoku's trunk. I thought I smelled rotten fish and chips. Should have known.
Order in the court! It feels really weird saying that in this voice. I'm skeptical, counsel, that a grown man's body could even fit inside the largest travel trunk.
It could. Because I happen to know for a fact that the witness himself, a man of considerable size, fits inside his trunk. And verifying that would be extremely simple, wouldn't it, Judge Shikoku? I joked about that from the very start, did I? Did I joke about a body being in the trunk? That's funny.
But inside his trunk? How worrying!
And after we spoke with you at the Great Waterloo Hotel, you had the opportunity to visit the apparent scene on the Fresno Street. Taking your trunk with you in a cab to deposit the inspector's body.
I don't have to listen to this nonsense!
Dr. Gori, the coroner who examined the body, has confirmed the possibility. She's acknowledged there are signs that steps may have been taken to disguise the true time of death. The onset of the body's decomposition would have been delayed by storing it in a refrigerator.
Counsel, as I remember explaining yesterday, I know where every refrigerator in the city is, and there are none of that size around the crime scene.
Well, I still want to know why you know that. Yeah, I'm sure. I believe you. That's fine. That's fine that you know that. But one place they're certainly found on is large ocean liners. Such ships are equipped with the electricity refrigerated and cold rooms to keep the fresh food on to keep the food fresh on long sea voyages. The SS Cruise is no exception. Professor Mikatoba told me about it only yesterday. Well, Judge Shikoku. However much you prolong this debate, you can't eliminate the truth. All the evidence points to you being the killer.
Well, this is all very heartening. I can see that it was a wise move, letting Asogi and you embark on this study tour.
What are you talking about now?
Logical reasoning, of course. All court proceedings will be built on logical reasoning in the new century. And I can see that you've both laid firm foundations for that already.
Judge Shikoku, please. Speak English. Stop telling us to look at the pretty bunny. The defense has made an accusation against you. How do you respond?
Respond? There's really no need for me to respond, is there?
Why ever the fuck not?
Because before you can even begin to answer the question of whether the victim was killed, you must first establish one key fact. Where was the victim killed? It's quite logical.
In your cabin. You know, the thing we've been arguing for the past hour? Does he have the brain holes? The actual scene of the crime? The prosecution stance is unaltered. The killing took place on Fresno Street where the gunshot was heard. As the accused, Barack Wanzik shot the victim at point-blank range.
Since no tangible evidence exists to disprove the prosecution's claim at this time, the defense's deductions amount to little more than an elaborate fairy tale.
I can actually feel my brain leaking.
I'm afraid that's how the logical reasoning in the British courts are known for really works, young stripling.
How about about you go have an inspector fucking actually look at the ship and confirm that the fucking hole is not a goddamn woodworm? I know they're trying to rig the case. I know it's a stacked deck, but good fucking god! The victim was shot in that little room on Fresno Street and died instantly. I'm afraid it's the prosecution's claim. That's the only fairy tale here. And not a very romantic one, I must say. How can you say that? I bought flowers. Quite simply, because that claim directly contradicts a certain piece of evidence in our possession.
Very tantalizing, counsel. I think you had better explain yourself to the court, don't you?
The prosecution claims Inspector Grayson died instantly when he was shot at the scene on Fresno Street. But this evidence clearly contradicts that claim. This one's tricky, I was gonna say. I actually don't know what you're talking about. Intermediate. Close range from the front, instant death, scorch marks on point of entry, bullet exited the body from behind. I hate being outright told. It's very sick, I was gonna say, this feels like a dick one. Is there any way to narrow it down without actually telling me? Like I said, if it's possible to give me a hint without actually outright spoiling it, I'll take something. Died instantly part? That's what I was thinking, something with the autopsy report, but at the same time I see no direct contradiction. Like, that does back up that he died instantly. Is it just his position? Is that really all? That's a huge leap in logic. Is that really it? That if you got shot point blank, you would probably fall backwards? Not fall on your side? That both feels like that's weird. That both feels like a huge leap in logic, and feels like we got contradictions going again. That feels like both something that's a huge leap in logic, but also something that probably should have come up sooner, if it was gonna be a thing.
Take that! A photograph of the victim in the very location you claim he wasn't killed.
Yes, but the point is the posture of the body itself. Inspector Grayson had been shot there in that room. It's out of the question the body would have been curled up in a ball like that.
I am sorry to disappoint you, but your logic is flawed. He could easily have adopted that fetal position due to the pain of the shot, which subsequently proved fatal.
Objection!
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Judge Shikoku, but it's your logic that's flawed.
What?
According to this autopsy report, the victim died instantly. He would have felt no pain, much less to be able to draw himself into that position.
Arr!
Which begs the question of why the victim's body is curled up in that way. Though the answer should be abundantly clear by now.
You're suggesting...
The inspector's body took on that posture ahead of its arrival on Fresno Street, before it was coldly turned on the floor. From the inside of a large travel trunk. No! You're quite right. The shape of the body.
it's exactly as if it had been kept in a confined space.
Judge Shikoku, present your trunk for examination right the fuck now, and I don't mean your ass. I believe it's very possible to contain traces of the victim's blood. Arrgh! I mean, if they wouldn't let us fucking go back on the goddamn ship and look at a fucking bullet hole, I doubt they're gonna let us look at the trunk with no hassle.
Present my trunk, I refuse. You can't have me booty.
What? On what grounds?
I'm the Minister of Foreign Affairs from the Empire of Japan. I've got diplomatic immunity. Can't touch this. I shouldn't have to put up with treatment just because of some stripling's baseless accusations.
In other words, Judge Shikoku, you're guilty as fuck. You got red in your ledger, honey.
I decline to answer that. As the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I have privileges that allow me to...
No! Not dealing with that. At this moment, you're not a government minister. You are witnessing a trial in Britain's highest court.
Oops.
I don't care who you are or what your status outside this courtroom might be. You will not withhold information. Nothing is more important than the truth. Chad Runo.
Arrgh! You'll find my stolen treasure. Order in the court. Well, Mr. Jigoku, what's it gonna be? What you gonna do with all that junk? All that junk inside your trunk? I'ma get you drunk. Get your love drunk off my hops. Aha!
You can't be serious. You did it?
Have you no shame at all, Kazuma Soki?
What?
Very well, I admit it. I did bring the inspector's body into the country, but I didn't kill him. Inside my trunk, exactly as postulated by the defense.
What? You...
Dear God, that is outrageous!
So it was you! You admit to Inspector Grayson's
No! I admit to nothing more than what I've said. Of killing the man, I most certainly have no recollection. What on earth is that cryptic statement supposed to mean? I merely disposed of the inspector's body, which was left in my cabin, in order to avoid unwanted attention. As the judicial assistant over there pointed out, I had no chance to throw it into the ocean. So I decided my only option was to bring it into Britain with me and dispose of it elsewhere.
You still can't deny it. If you didn't do it, then who on earth killed the man?
Maybe it was fairies. It was the Swarm Lord. As you know, there was one other person in my cabin at night. He had the opportunity. And moreover, he'd already be accepted as a mission to take the inspector's life.
Oh.
It was my affair! Who else could it have been?
You...
It was Franziska von Karma. Case closed.
I never thought you'd stoop this low, Seishiro Jigoku.
You have taken the words straight out of my mouth. Prosecutor Kazuma Soki. You thought by leaving the body in my cabin you could pin the crime on me, did you? Well, the prosecution counsel has already admitted to visiting the witness's cabin on the night in question. Yes, on an assassination mission, no less.
You wouldn't.
So, what do you make of that, young stripling? You've heard my testimony now, and that's all I have to say on the matter. I'll admit to nothing more.
I don't believe this.
Counsel for the defense. What is your position now? The court awaits your response to the witness's assertion. The assertion that on the night in question, the victim's assailant was in fact Mr. Kazuma Soki.
This is not the dead end it seems to be. The answer is right in front of me. It comes down to Jigoku or Kazuma. Both of them had the opportunity to kill Gregson, but only one of them actually did it. Just a step away from proving who. Very well, the defense is ready to respond to the assertion put forward by Judge Jigoku. The idea the victim's murder could have been committed by Prosecutor Asogi is... impossible. Judge Jigoku, let me remind you something you said only a few minutes ago. You claim that logical reasoning is the future of the judicial process.
It is, no question.
Well, logical reasoning can prove something here. Namely, that it would have been impossible for Prosecutor Asogi to commit the crime.
What? The court will only accept an argument that is supported by compelling evidence. So present what you have, counsel. What proof is there that allegedly demonstrates the impossibility of Prosecutor Asogi's involvement?
I don't know. The fact that he wouldn't have had the fucking standard issue gun on hand? This you? Yep. I plead the fifth.
It broke new ground! Oh my god!
Do I have to examine anything further? Just tell me that. Do I have everything I need? Nope. Okay. Just looking around to see if there's something else that I'm missing. It's probably not the sword, but it's literally all I can think of.
Take that!
You're making the evidence weep here, Ryunosuke! Every piece of evidence has a role to play in arriving at the truth. Alright, I get it. Why'd the music stop for a wrong statement? That's not how it works. Oh, why am I looking at that one? That one's not relevant, not yet. That's the one I'm actually interested in.
Take that!
Same reasoning, but this instead?
Take that!
Nope.
Surely he wouldn't have swiped him with his sword and then shot him too, right? If Kaz wasn't there at the time of the murder, that's what I'm thinking, but I can't remember anything we have that shows that he was somewhere else. Like, obviously he was, but, like, I do not remember anything we have that proves that. The fact that some of this stuff is still evidence, Jesus Christ. I wish they had, unless some of this stuff is still gonna somehow be relevant, I really wish they had cleaned out my inventory. I know it could have only occurred in a 20-minute time frame, but I'm saying I don't know how we have any evidence of him being somewhere else. There's nothing in here as far as I remember that's like, oh, Kazuma went to McDonald's. Is it just the evacuation notice again? That's crew only. That wouldn't have included him.
Take that!
Oh, never mind. Okay, I guess it somehow does. The itinerary for crew members of the SS Bruce, my lord. This is conclusive proof.
An itinerary? How does that prove anything?
That's what I'm saying. Judge Shikoku, the moment you acknowledged you found the victim's body in your cabin, this itinerary suddenly became much more significant.
What? Why?
On the night in question, as always, a crewman sentry was on guard outside your cabin door. As long as he was there, nobody could have fired a shot inside the cabin. Absolutely, because it's inconceivable the god wouldn't have voted to come to investigate. So that tells us the crime must have taken place when the guard was elsewhere. That narrows it down to the 20 minutes just after 10 o'clock, as indicated on the itinerary.
Yes, I see no flaw in your reasoning so far.
But the crucial point is this: when the evacuation drill took place, the steamship had already put to sea from the port of Dunkirk. Now, clearly the murder could have only been committed by somebody who was aboard the vessel at the time. But Prosecutor Asogi stated in yesterday's proceedings. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, all we have for that is his word. That's why I was confused. Like, we do not have any physical evidence proving, like, he was physically somewhere else. Yeah, that one's pushing it. I didn't come to take anyone's life, so I left Gregson and disembarked on the ship. I spent that night at a boarding house in town and returned to England the following morning. Which I'm sure the court will agree is conclusive proof that Kazuma Sogi couldn't possibly have carried out the killing.
Arrgh! No, absolutely not! I don't accept that at all!
What do you mean?
The boys just say that to exonerate himself. We can't trust that he really just marked the vessel.
That's what I'm fucking saying. Kazuma, did you keep your McDonald's receipt?
Obviously, after he left my cabin, he hid himself somewhere nearby on the ship. Just waiting for his chance to come back and finish.
I do appreciate the irony. The second we come up with new evidence, oh, he's just trying to exonerate himself, but you...
No, I'm telling the truth. Never mind, I never mentioned this before.
No, that's out of the question. Isn't it, Kazuma? As the defense rightly recalls, I disembarked the vessel and spent the night in a boarding house in Dunkirk. And as I said yesterday, I signed my name in the accommodation register book. All extremely easy to verify and undeniable proof.
Arrgh! No,
There's no escape this time. You can forget that you're a judge or a government minister. I like how Natsuki was like, no, I'll wait for it, as if something was gonna blow my mind and prove me that that wasn't bullshit. Nah, that was still kind of bupkis. Maybe if, let's see. How could you fix that one? Oh, that one's an easy fix. Oh, shit. Literally just to make it so that he was staying in the same hotel as Mikotoba and everything. And have, like, the fucking guest book be evidence. Like, have us actually look at that at some point. There we go. Easy fix. As is, that's kind of... Prove this thing that you know that's gonna be deemed bullshit and can only be backed up by the prosecution actually helping you, which Kazuma always waffles on whether he'll actually help us or not. It's time you gave the court an honest answer as a common man.
Arrgh!
Break the table again! Break the table! You can redeem this nonsense if you break the table! You killed Inspector Tobias Gregson and transported his corpse back to Britain. Then you dumped the body in the room on Fresno Street and made it look as if the murder had happened here. That's what really happened, isn't it? Say Shirochi Goku.
It was that damn trial 10 years ago. That's when all this began. Looking back now, my fate was decided on that day. I was doomed already. Ah!
I don't care that he mentioned it once. This game has a million lines of text. Unless it's actual evidence that stays with us or was mentioned 5 minutes ago, I call bullshit when I see it.
It's over! My life is over!
Fuck the next person who has to testify, I guess. Just stand there awkwardly, nothing to rest their hands on.
A British assassin to eliminate a professor in Japan. A Japanese assassin to eliminate a detective in Britain. Both assassins will use diplomatic immunity to evade conviction and return safely to their homelands. Do. The assassin exchanged request a bride from Britain about 1 year ago. Though it was hardly a request, it was a demand.
And for that, you decided to recruit Mr. Asogi.
But things didn't go according to plan.
That was my impression of you. Did you like it? Your assassin never made it to Britain. And you found yourself unable to dispatch a replacement. Because I was already on my way to Britain at that time, in Casima's place.
And that left me with only one option for carrying out my obligation. Please forgive the discourtesy of that brute destroying the witness stand. To eliminate the mark myself, personally. Of course, there was but a single opportunity for me to do that.
The International Forensic Science Symposium, I presume.
That's right. I decided it would be the safest way to carry out the plan before my arrival in Britain. So I enlisted the help of my British counterpart, who shall remain nameless. And made arrangements for the pretext that would take the inspector to Dunkirk. To lure the man in, he was given a sham mission by the Reaper.
What? The Reaper again. But there's only one person who could have done that. The mastermind of the entire operation. The Reaper himself.
Ah!
Now we just have to prove that that's not Von Zeeks definitively, right? I know that's gonna be part 2 or whatever, but...
That means the assassination exchange was... It was all planned by the Reaper.
I am not at liberty to say anything about my British counterpart. Anyway, the inspector accepted the Reaper's mission and dutifully infiltrated my cabinet on the steamship.
You're very loyal, if nothing else, sir. You're really not gonna drag him down with you? I know you couldn't, because the game would be over, but hey.
It was all a trap designed to lead him to France and his own death.
Oh, how awful.
It was past 9 o'clock when I returned to my cabin from the dining hall that evening. I didn't give him time to attack me. I choked him until he lost consciousness. But there was a guard just outside the door. So I left it at that for the time being.
Good God! So you strangled him so hard he passed out and then you shot him later? Bruh. Even I feel a little bad.
Even the slightest noise might have aroused suspicion, so I bided my time, waiting.
For the 20 minutes after 10 o'clock.
I had intended to finish him by strangulation, but moments before I had the chance, he suddenly came around and went for me in a reckless move. I broke him in two with my bare hands. I'd received the British issue gun 16 years earlier, being a member of the judiciary as a visiting student. I never imagined I'd have to use it for something like that. So the revolver belongs to you, does it?
They've been using the exact same type of gun for 16 years, goddamn. Then the victim was killed inside your cabin on the SS Cruise. Which begs the question of why you arranged for his body to be discovered in the room on Fresno Street. I'm guessing orders.
The young judicial assistant over there has already answered that question. There was no way I could take the body up on deck to throw it over the side. That's precisely where all the crewmen were gathered for their evacuation drill. So before the first class cabin entries returned, I took the corpse to the refrigerator room.
Then arriving in Dover, you concealed the body in your trunk in order to smuggle it past the border police. How the fuck did he get his... How the fuck did he get it back out of the fridge? Did he just pay off the guards? Like he told them to when he hid in the trunk? Like he either had to have gone and gotten the body, moved it back up to his room, or taken the huge ass trunk with him down to the refrigerator.
I knew I needed to take the steps if the police were to be convinced when the body was found in London.
In that case, you must have known. You must have intimate details of the Inspector Grace's attended schedule.
Yes, my British counterpart sent me everything I needed to know. The inspector was due in Fresno Street at 5 o'clock on the afternoon. So, in order to meet the man by the name of Hugh Boone, from whom he would take back his police identification.
Aha.
I decided the man would be a perfect person to send us to the culprit. So I took a hackney carriage over there with the body still in my trunk.
Yeah, so it was just very, very good luck on his part that fucking Von Zeeks ended up investigating that. Or, I don't know. Did fucking Strongheart know about, like, I imagine Strongheart had to one-up him, because somebody had to set up all the candle shit. Did you do that? Like, that had to be set up in a very specific way to be timed perfectly for when Von Zeeks walked in. That must have been just after we took this photograph with you at the hotel, then.
Yes, I wasn't expecting a welcoming committee. I was more than a little nervous. On Fresno Street, I spotted a young girl selling little firecrackers.
Miss Venus, of course.
I could see the candle trick there and then.
Okay, it was you.
I took a simple disguise and approached the girl to buy enough firecrackers to replicate a gunshot.
What sort of disguise?
For some reason, the inspector had a bright red hairpiece in his own traveling case. So I put that on. Although I suspect I drew more attention to myself than I would have otherwise.
The hairpiece was found at the scene. The inspector had it ready for the Red-Headed League investigation.
I only arrived at the room around 4:45. So I quickly placed the body on the floor, moved the notice board, and set up my little candle trick. I arranged it so the firecrackers would go off with a bang about 15 minutes later. So that Mr. Boone, who was due to arrive at 5, would walk straight into a trap.
Okay, so it was just pure coincidence that Von Zeeks happened to be trailing him and get there first. That's fucked up.
Except at the last moment, I made a careless blunder.
What was that?
I imagine it was the bag of fish and chips.
Of course, that was important.
I didn't notice it had fallen out of his overcoat pocket when I moved the body to the refrigeration room. I put it back in his pocket the following morning, but... well, it seems the warmth of the heated cabin had accelerated the decay of the fish. Anyway, that's...
I was half expecting to get shot right then and there, a la Bobby. I'm not gonna lie.
That's everything. All the sordid details of what I did. This is awkward. I should not have destroyed the stand. I feel naked. I've heard enough. We've arrived at the truth about the murder of one of the country's most capable and respected police inspectors. The witness will be tried in the coming days. For a crime of such a vile nature, you can expect the most severe penalty.
You could still sell him out, brah. It's not too late.
An exchange of assassins. What a foolhardy idea.
Mr. Chikoku, one last detail. One more thing. Who was your counterpart in Britain? Who was the mastermind behind the assassin exchange? He's made it damn clear. He's not gonna tell us. Also, yeah, he could totally just rig that trial true. Also, I didn't even think about that. Oh shit, the fact that Mona figure got a better picture, that means it's officially Wonderfest. Oh my god. Rest in peace to my wallet. I'm gonna be seeing a lot more shit that I can't afford over the course of this evening, I'm sure. God damn it. Let's just touch this treasure. That'll make him spill everything, exactly. Nothing you can say now can make matters any worse for you, so just tell us.
Enough!
I've already told you that I cannot say.
Even though as things stand, you may very well never set foot in your homeland again.
What are you waiting for? Can't we get this over with now? It's finished. All of it. I'm finished.
Then, in the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I can now pronounce the findings of this court. This man before us has admitted to the willful murder of Tobias Gregson.
You're gonna break that unicorn's horn off, and I'm gonna be very sad.
Seishiro Jingoku, it is the opinion of this court that you should be found guilty!
I don't like this. I mean, I know obviously it has to lead into everything else somehow, but you're declaring him guilty instead of just declaring our client not guilty? You just said he wouldn't be facing his trial till later. Strong heart? Honey, your brain.
May I remind those present of the strict confidentiality demanded by this closed court?
What now?
Moments ago, Mr. Jigoku signed a written confession.
Oh no, guys, I got bad news. I said something about one Wonderfest happening. I got bad news. Among Us Nendoroids. Everything's dead. Also, holy shit, Nia statue! Oh my, I'm sorry, I'll stop looking at Twitter. I can look at this later. I'm sorry. I got distracted by shinies. The trial is over, but hey.
Admitting to the murder of Inspector Gregson and the subsequent conveyance of the body.
Among Us Nendoroid, it's pretty sus. Nendoroids of Among Us. No, I don't know why.
In short, the defendant's innocence has therefore been established beyond doubt. So why did I wait to say not guilty? Probably because I'm a bastard.
Oh, wonderful. Well done, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, thank you.
Is something wrong?
I'm just a little troubled by his silence.
The true identity of the Reaper of the Valley and his extraordinary assassin exchange. We do remain in the dark about these mysteries, quite a shame. However, insofar as the indictment brought against the defendant in this trial, we have reached a conclusion.
I have every intention of pursuing both mysteries. As prosecutor.
As you wish. Now for the formal adjudication. I hereby declare the defendant Barack von Zeeks.
Objection!
The prosecution calls for adjudication to be deferred.
Counsel! Your brain holes!
The accused's innocence hasn't been fully established at all. I know he's gonna lead it into everything that happened 10 years ago with his brother, but holy shit, honey. Venti's out, boys! Neo, what's the best way to level up stores? You have trouble trying to get level 1? Just buy everything. I know that sounds dismissive, but like genuinely just keep buying everything. Or wear the brands. Whatever store, whatever the store's brand is, just wear that in battle and do a lot of fighting. Therefore, it would be wrong to deliver a verdict at this time. That is the prosecution's unwavering position. Also, news apparently on sale in the eShop. I do want a copy for Switch, but I want a physical copy to put next to my my copy of the first game. eShop not really very helpful. What?
But Judge Goku literally just confessed.
Nevertheless, Barack Bonzes has committed crimes for which he must be punished.
For completely unrelated cases, honey. That I get we have to do this some way because this game got cut down to 2, but still.
Wow! It would appear you have information that the court needs to hear, Prosecutor Asogi.
1 week for Metroid Dread. I hope that game's good, y'all. All you Metroid fans who have been waiting for that game, I hope for the best. That game comes out on my birthday. I am sending it all of my birthday good luck.
Certainly, the murder of Inspector Gregson was actually carried out by Seishiro Jigoku. But it's clear from the witness's testimony that he was coerced into complying with a plot. Into this sick, merciless assassin exchange.
That may be true, but...
So what I want to know is who coerced Jigoku? Who was pulling the strings? The victim went to France having been ordered on a mission for the Reaper, only to be murdered. In other words, the mastermind behind the assassin exchange is someone in a position to give such an order. As we've already established, the Reaper himself.
Well, certainly that would appear to follow.
What I want to know is why the fuck is Strongheart gonna let him actually go along with this train of thought?
The prosecution hereby formally accuses the man in the dock, Barack Bonzes, of being the Reaper of the Bailey. I'm going to prove his guilt beyond all reasonable doubt.
What? Order! I could just dismiss this case now and protect myself from obvious plot bullshit. But why not? What's the worst that could happen? Oh no, my brain holes!
Hey, Puff, welcome back. Everyone has brain holes.
The Reaper of the Bailey is a long-standing mystery, Counsel. Are you suggesting you have some new information with which to build a case?
Scotland Yard has already investigated Lord Von Zieks very thoroughly in that regard. They found no evidence whatsoever to substantiate the claim that he's the Reaper.
Perhaps, but circumstances have now changed.
What does that mean?
It's already been established that the assassin exchange was negotiated with Jigoku by the Reaper himself.
Woodworms in the brain. Oh no. Corey Feldman, no!
Which means we now have a new line of questioning by which to identify definitively the man's identity.
I was gonna say, is there a break? I have to imagine there's gonna be a break before we get to the stuff, or at least I thought for sure there would be.
That is the prosecution's intention here. I should be the Keeper of the Reaper. I must say I'm surprised by quite how tenaciously you appear to want to besmirch my name. You are guilty of an unforgivable crime, Lord Von Zieks. And I will bring you to justice for it. Whatever it takes.
I get it. I do get it. Like I said, he thinks that he wrongfully prosecuted his dad. I understand.
That explains Cosmo's silence before.
He'll stop at nothing to finish what Lord Von Zieks unwillingly started 10 years ago.
Very well. Whilst it's extremely irregular and kinda stupid on my part, I will on this occasion grant the prosecution further opportunity for witness testimony. The defendant will disclose any and all involvement he has had with the Reaper and the assassin exchange.
I thank you, my lord, for guiding the court so wisely. You do not at all have brain holes.
I know. I hereby declare this court to be in session for a supplementary hearing. And the invisible monkeys agree with me.
There were invisible monkeys there this whole time?
Pray turn a blind eye to the discourtesy as I verify this vile and unremitting accusation. I'm not nearly drunk enough for this. It hasn't sat with the contents of my hollow chalice.
Lord Von Zieks. Please, honey, don't spread in public.
I had first tried to suffer the pseudonym of the Reaper 10 years ago. Or I've had to. Ever since that time, I've endured the weight of the implied guilt that's gone with it. So I welcome the chance to testify now, and crush those allegations once and for all. Good. Then let justice decide, Lord Von Zieks. The prosecution seeks to begin building its case by calling the accused to the stand as the primary witness, in order that he may answer the accusation brought by the prosecution that he is the Reaper of the Bailey.
And what says the defense?
Putting the defendant on the witness stand could be extremely dangerous.
Bring out the osmanthus wine, boys! It's gonna be a big one. Getting real brain holy. He's not the Reaper. He is absolutely not the Reaper. This is just what? I was gonna say it's the writer's only way to combine both these aspects in the span of when they only have one game left, but it's the only way that Kazuma can lead into the fact that he believes Von Zieks. He genuinely thinks Von Zieks is the Reaper, and that part of it was the start of it was him wrongfully prosecuting his dad. So we gotta curtail into that somehow.
Kazuma-sama is so emotional at the moment, he's not thinking logically.
You're right that he's not himself, but I knew it would be like this. And I came here today determined to face him through whatever might arise, as a lawyer and as his friend.
Then that's what we must do.
The defense has no objections, my lord.
Very well. Defendant, you will take the witness stand and give formal testimony on the subject of your involvement with the Reaper and the assassin exchange.
As you wish, my lord. Can you feel the sarcasm? I assure you it's dripping. I have never taken the life of another, nor have I instructed another to kill. I've been investigating the truth behind the Reaper for years, and I was aware of Gregson's involvement. That's the reason why I went to Fresno Street that day, and how I came to discover the body. The point is, no common thread exists between myself, Gregson, and Dr. Wilson. Clearly, therefore, there is no reason to suspect me of being behind the assassin exchange.
So you deny all accusations by the prosecution. Both that you are the Reaper of the Bailey and that you masterminded the assassin exchange.
I acknowledge that the public has at large believed me to be the Reaper. However, that's a fallacy, which I alone am in a position to forswear.
Naturally, the prosecution believes the testimony just given by the accused to be untrue. Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Yes? Let me ask you, why are you here? What really brings you to this courtroom? A desire to uncover the truth? And also be embraced by Von Zieks' warm bosom? Even if the truth proves your client to be guilty. From all my experiences in this courtroom, I've come to realize something. That the truth can't be hidden. Sooner or later, it will come out. So it's always my intention to work with my client in the pursuit of truth. I want you to remember what you just said.
Enough dietary chatter. Counsel for the defense. Proceed to cross-examine the witness.
Yes, my lord. I know exactly what you're thinking, Kazuma. I know you're just waiting to point it out. The contradiction you're convinced lies somewhere in this man's testimony. Shouldn't he be the one pointing it out? This feels backwards. Like, what? Kazuma, shouldn't you be presenting something that's like, aha, clearly he did know something. You're the whole one who wanted this thing to go on, buddy. No common thread between myself, Gregson, and Dr. Wilson. I guess I do have to point that out. Again, I feel like I'm doing Kazuma's job for him right now, but hey. I also don't know if this is enough or not. I'm just assuming. No, I don't think you're involved. Like, I implicitly believe everything you say at this point. Like, you clearly trust me, I trust you. But because Kazuma won't take his diaper off and put on his big boy pants, I guess I'll do his job for him. And pretend that you could and would have motive.
Objection!
What is this, an autopsy report? Wait, this is 10 years old, from the autopsy of Lord Clint von Zeeks.
What? My brother's autopsy report? Why the fuck do you even have that? That's cringe. I'm pleased to see the defense doesn't intend to run from the undeniable truth.
Order in the court! What reason do you have for presenting a 10-year-old autopsy report here, counsel?
This is the autopsy report of the professor's final victim. It's an undeniable link between Inspector Gregson, Dr. Wilson, and the defendant. Not that accursed name again, the professor. I personally researched all the court records relating to that case. I know that at the time, the autopsy was considered sacrilege to the victim's souls. And for a member of the aristocracy like Lord Clint von Zeeks, it was unthinkable. But someone implored the powers that be to allow the autopsy to go ahead. Inspector Gregson. He declared that he was certain he would obtain conclusive proof from the procedure. And it was Dr. Wilson who conducted the autopsy. His signature is clearly visible on the document. Have I seen the new Bamco icon? Oh yeah, the plain black one, yeah. Like, what the fuck? It's extremely boring. It's very, very silly. As promised by Gregson, the autopsy did indeed produce evidence. Evidence that conclusively proved Genshin Asogi was guilty of the murders. No. No, I don't know about that. I think he, like I said, I still don't know how this whole thing is shake out, but I think he was only guilty of one murder. I would have said he was the professor, and was just like genuinely a vigilante, killing only people who deserved it, and that Zeke's brother was just an asshole secretly or whatever. But the phrasing in that letter, no, I think he only actually killed one of them. That obviously being Clint. Gotta get that widespread lowest common denominator appeal, I guess. Colors are very offensive, especially green. Green is not a creative color. In my brother's dying moments, he mustered all his remaining strength to leave that vital clue behind.
Indeed, it was the key to indicting the professor for his crimes and conclusive evidence that convicted him. It enabled Lord von Zeeks here to avenge his brother's senseless death with a marvelous victory in court.
A marvelous victory, was it? I wonder if that's really true. What? Could the same be said if it turned out that the key piece of evidence in question was fabrication? If the inspector, the coroner, and the prosecutor all colluded together to cast an innocent Japanese man as a mass murderer and send him to his death. Except they clearly didn't. One, because we know Mikitoba was there, right? Like, the actual details were written by Mikitoba. I don't believe he would have forged it. Like, I don't believe he's involved in this as deeply as the others. And also a single, a single stab wound. Not the same method of death at all. It had to have been, Karma. The sword. See, I get what you're going for, Kazuma, but yeah, no, I'm sorry. One way or another, your father definitely killed Clint. It's just that everyone back then had a leap to conclusions placemat and assumed that he killed everyone else because of that, or at least people wanted, you know.
Indeed, it was the key to indicting the professor for his crimes and conclusive evidence that convicted him. It enabled Lord von Zeeks here to avenge his brother's senseless death with a marvelous victory in court.
That's outrageous!
And now, 10 years later, for some reason the secret has been threatened and needs protecting. Which is why the inspector in the corner had to be silenced, isn't it? By someone in power in Japan and in Britain. Using the 2 killers recruited for the assassin exchange. All these years later, though, bruh, Kazuma. They waited 10 years to do it, honey.
Order! Order at once!
10 years ago, my father was convicted in this very courtroom as a mass murderer. To be sentenced to death. But it was all a sham, and I swore to myself that I'd prove it. Which is why I had to come to Britain. Whatever the cost.
I'm sorry, this is too stupid. I'm not nearly drunk enough for this. You'll have to forgive me if I feel compelled to toast to this vengeful Nipponese tenacity of purpose here. However, he who fails to quash his emotions in the courtroom has failed as a lawyer.
Come on, Kazuma, you know this won't wash. You're claiming your father was misapprehended in a trial that took place a whole decade ago. You must see that without evidence, there's nothing more than a wild accusation. As it happens, I have evidence.
What?
As the court has heard, I crossed the channel to France with Grayson on the 31st. I went with him on the pretext of being the assassin recruited to kill Seishiro Jigoku, but my true intentions were to make the inspector tell me the truth.
What truth?
Does he have father issues? Less father issues, like he was so young when his dad left, like only, what, 10 or something? It's just that he firmly believes that his father is not a killer. And as soon as he found out that this was his dad's legacy over in Britain, he got all uppity about it and wants to prove him innocent. But like I said, he's partially correct. Like I said, I don't think Genshin's the professor. But like, I think it's unfortunately a hard fact that he did kill Clint. And I'm gonna assume that the only way that tracks is if Clint was just a complete asshole like the rest of the aristocracy, or if Clint was the professor and responsible for the first couple of killings. And Genshin, like, killed him in self-defense or whatever. I don't know. I don't know why he would have taken the fall in that case, though. Again, they probably made him. What am I saying? That's right, he was a fall guy. Duh. The truth about the evidence, and he acknowledged what I'd already deduced. There's a closely guarded secret about what went on at the autopsy 10 years ago. Clint's too pretty to be evil. He is very pretty. He's got the good genes. But, it's the only thing that makes sense. Like, either one way or the other. At this point. Like I said, I thought it was possible that... Oh. Well, no, that's right, though. Wait, because even... Oh, that's right, though. Because, yeah, I just said, yeah, he was only killing, like... They were only killing, like, evil members of the aristocracy or whatever, right? So Clint himself was arguably, like, not necessarily evil. He was getting rid of people who were probably worse than him, maybe, right? That's assuming he was the professor. He could have just been an asshole himself. But he's so pretty. Contradictions everywhere!
What secret? I know nothing of any secret.
While I waited for my supposed mark in Jigoku's cabin, I drew my clan's illustrious sword, Karuma, before the inspector's eyes. He very quickly understood what my true motive was.
Right, I see. You're that Shoki young lad, are you? And what? You're gonna cut me down with that thing? That it?
That will very much depend on the answers you give to my questions. I want to know what really happened 10 years ago. The truth, that is all.
Before we get into it, let me make one thing clear. I still believe your father was the professor. That's no doubt in my mind. But unfortunately, back then, we didn't have the evidence we needed to make the crime stick.
Oh. Gregson's kind of a scumbag inspector. In other news, water wet. So you admit it then? The evidence used in my father's trial was fabricated?
It was for the good of the country. Anyway, I was just following orders.
Orders? What exactly did you do? Speak!
I'm not saying another word. Even if your life depends on it. That's right. Even then.
Good God, what the fuck, bruh? Does Strongheart suck the dick of anyone in his employ? These guys are all way too fucking loyal for how easily he's willing to cut them out. Like, bruh. Him and Jikoku, neither of them would fucking give up the ringleader. And yet fucking Gregson got turned on and put on the list himself. Like, what the fuck? Did he have a good dental health plan? They're Gilbert Gottfried sips. You know what? I won't judge. Gilbert Gottfried's a lovely man.
That's right, even then.
So that's when the tip of your sword broke.
Oh, Kazuma-sama?
If the result of Clint Von Zeke's autopsy were fabricated, then the investigating officer Gregson and the lead coroner Wilson must have known about it. If they can only have been ordered to pervert the course of justice in that way by one man, the man leading the case for the prosecution, Barack Von Zeeks.
He promised them the position of Reaper. Why would anyone want that position? Again, Gregson was Gregson was pretty high up in the food chain, but he was just a strategist. Who wants to actually be the person risking themselves murdering people? Besides people named Asa Shin, who literally had no fucking choice in the course of their life, clearly.
In other words, the defendant did have cause to organize this exchange of assassins.
Exactly, and it was established earlier. It has to have been the Reaper himself who liaised Jigoku in Japan to arrange the exchange. So it follows that the Reaper's true identity can only be that of the man who stands accused in this courtroom today, Barack Von Zeeks.
Where can I get a cool unicorn cane? I want that.
Objection!
Kazuma Asogi. That is bullshit blazing! What? What you've just told the court is fucking stupid! Also, are you absolutely certain of your facts? Did Gregson really fabricate evidence for that trial 10 years ago? I heard it with my own ears. His shameful admission.
Kazuma, do you not... this sounds like it's news to Von Zeeks too, bruh.
In that case, I know. The name of the Reaper.
What? That's the last piece he needed, wasn't it? He's probably suspected for a long while. Lord Von Zeeks?
I gave no such orders, I know that for certain. Which narrows down the remaining possibilities to one.
Yeah, my boy! Say the name! Say the name, my boy! If Lord Von Zeeks isn't the one behind all this, then yes, there is only one other person who could have done something like that. I believe I know who it is too.
You.
I just had a feeling this name was gonna come up. The true identity of the infamous Reaper of the Bailey is, yeah, because he's been investigating this shit on his own for a long-ass time. Like, he's not stupid. Von Zeeks does not have brain holes, besides that one time he picked up the gun. Like, he had to have had it narrowed down pretty high up. And confirmation on this now, this is information to him too, that for sure evidence was fabricated back then. This is all we fucking needed. That's the silver bullet.
Tag team, tag team. I know who did this. It's hostile witness. I had to shoot. He had a gun.
No, he didn't. It was invisible like the monkey jury.
I feel like this is quickly turning into a drumhead court.
Take that!
The only person who could have arranged the assassin exchange and manipulated the autopsy results is the Lord Chief Justice himself.
Lord Male Strongheart. What? Lord Strongheart? That's impossible. Yes, it's true that 10 years ago, the defendant handled the prosecution of the professor in court.
He had a gun! No, he didn't! It was a 4-kids gun!
I don't know what that is. I don't watch anime or play your stupid weeb games like Persona 5.
You take that back, you daft twit!
You gotta change his name to Whoreheart. He only took over the case after his brother, Lord Clint Von Zieks, had been killed. Yeah, exactly. Any fabricated evidence, he would not have been in on that, bruh. Like, he wanted to know the truth just as much. Since as far as he knew, his brother was a victim. He would have had no reason to help set someone else up. It is, I do like the big bad is his own judge. I don't know how the fuck we're gonna prove this. I don't know how the hell we're gonna prove any of this. But it is an interesting, it is an interesting twist. It's actually breaking new ground.
I can only assume that this is the most inappropriate joke in British judicial history.
Can I get an edit of Strongheart over that guy from the oh god, what was that shitty game? The bald guy who asked if this was an out of season April Fool's joke when they revealed like a shitty mobile game instead of an actual new game. Can I get a Strongheart edit of that or a redraw or whatever? Diablo Mobile, that's it, yeah.
Is this an extremely out of season April Fool's joke?
Well, Lord Von Zieks?
10 years ago, I was very new to my profession. But I had a burning desire to avenge my brother's death, so I pleaded for control of the case.
Yeah, he took over very last minute, Kazuma, honey. He would not have been involved with that. Yeah, Diablo Mobile, that was it. Yeah, like they were expecting a new Diablo game and extending out the mobile version. And they were like, what, don't you guys have phones? That fucking mess. What are you eating best? Is it fish and chips? It should probably be fish and chips.
The investigation to that point, the supplication of the lords to allow my brother's corpse to be examined. All the evidence I was given, the autopsy reports, it all came from you.
He got tweeted. He got tweeted. Yes, that's what that meme's from. That is what that. Yeah, that's what that's from, Pump. Like they revealed a mobile game instead of an actual game. The audience went like completely silent / started booing. The one guy asked if it was an April Fool's joke, and the people who showed off the trailer just kind of laughed and tried to brush it off. Like, what? Don't you guys have phones? It was great. Blizzard's a fucking mess. Tales of Lumaria have a Twitter. I know nothing about Tales of Lumaria. I've got my hands full with Crestoria. I know nothing about the new Tales mobile game. I haven't seen any trailers. I don't know anything about it. Lay sour cream and onion potato chips with 2% milk. That is strange. Ugh. The sour cream and potato chips are fine. The milk on top of it, getting a little phlegmy.
I spent my life since then believing I was in your debt for the way you stood aside and let me handle the trial. But I see now.
Oh no! Anonymous, why are you mocking me? Hello, Inspector Gregson. This is awkward. I've been shit-talking you all night. Enjoy your eggs and emotes, though, I guess. Thank you, whoever did that. That's fucking great. Oh my god. His ghost is haunting me.
I can see now that Inspector Grayson deserves a gift sub.
Wait, what?
I was very much mistaken.
So he doesn't deserve a gift sub. It was a hugely influential force that caused the inspector and the coroner to break the law 10 years ago. Your knees bleeding, Scarlet? Oh, fuck, that's not good. Jesus Christ. Got some stuff you can put on it and bandage it up with, I hope.
The same force that was still felt a decade later on the other side of the world by Seishiro Jigoku. Lord Strongheart. Everything falls in place when we recognize that you are the Reaper of the Bailey.
The court awaits your response, my lord.
Honey, please. Put that away. Save it for tonight. Save it for the victory dance. Oh, is this from that new Final Fantasy game? People were freaking out about that. I haven't actually watched it.
This may very well go down in British judicial history. I assure you it is no joke.
Well, time for me to hit the old dusty trail.
Consider this a formal accusal by the defense.
You're not on the defense, you're on the stand.
You're back home getting bandaged, crashed a bike into someone's car. God damn, my dude. Holy shit. Jesus, that's awful. Oof, yeah, take good care of it. Keep putting, put some Neosporin and everything on it. Keep bandage it up, clean it well. Just, oof. Nasty. You did a good enough impression of my Rex voice to do Cody in the first Ace Attorney. Pulver instantly recognized it. Hey! Excellent.
It doesn't warrant a response. A formal accusation. Don't be absurd. I'm literally the judge. The defense claims are utter nonsense.
Cody Hackins from the first game. Third trial. Steel Samurai fanboy.
The defense's claims are utter nonsense. A wild fantasy at best.
You're not gonna defend yourself? You're gonna do this shit?
You claim there was some wrongdoing with Lord Von Zeke's autopsy. That's utterly untrue.
Objection!
But I heard it from Gregson's lips. He admitted to it.
And where is your evidence?
What?
Gregson's dead now, unless you were thinking of summoning a ghost to the stand. Hey, what's up, bitches? Guess who just discovered time travel? Interior, crocodile, alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater.
Maya's come back to save us all. Thank God.
You don't mean to say.
I forget how the system works in your little backwater country. But in the courts of the British Empire, without evidence, there is no case. I have no intention of entertaining some wild fantasy that can't possibly be substantiated by anyone or anything. Ugh!
Too bad no Ace 37 at the Tokyo Game Show. I kind of figured it was too early still. But hey. I'll keep holding on to hope on that one. It was in that huge leak. Everything else from there has eventually come true. Maybe sometime next... I think we'll get a trailer sometime next year, assuming it's still real. That's my guess. I've already made the extraterritorial rights jokes. I've been singing do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Can't touch this all night. Bullshit. It's fine here, because this game's actually good. In Investigations 1, that was just shit on a shit pile. Here, it's fine.
Order in the court following Inspector Grayson's murder, and in light of Dr. Wilson's death as well, there's really no one left who could testify about the events of 10 years ago, is there?
So that was the real purpose of the assassin exchange.
Why did you wait so long to cut them out, dude? Especially, like I said, Gregson. Gregson was clearly so fucking loyal. Like, why feel the need to turn on him now?
This court has no business raking over the coals of a case that was concluded a decade ago. The accusal brought by the prosecution and the defense is categorically denied.
Ace Attorney 7 release projected. Yeah, it's listed as being in 2021, but yeah, like I said, delays happen big time. So yeah, like I said, I'm guessing sometime next year we'll hear news if it's still happening.
I take it there are no objections.
Yeah, Investigations Case 5 was just it beating a dead horse for like literally hours on end. And also case closed. Kazuma. He's more or less waited his whole life for this moment. I do hope that's true too. Yeah, the 4, 5, and 1, 4, 5, and 6 port. Yeah, I will absolutely buy that if that happens. Is there really nothing else we can do? Is there no other way to? Is there no other avenue we can go down in pursuit about the truth of what happened all those years ago? If only there was someone who could testify about Clint Von Zeke's autopsy. There is someone. He's gone to extraordinary lengths to cover his tracks, even so far as dispatching assassins all the way to Japan to ensure Dr. Wilson's sentence. And Dr. Scythe won't say anything against Strongheart. Fucking nobody will, but I have one ray of hope. I have one person who's not in his back pocket. And he may be a filthy man-stealer, but whatever. Blame the cheater, not the cheatee.
Objection!
Actually, there is one person. One person who could still testify about that autopsy.
Don't be ridiculous. There's no one left.
Who, Ryunosuke? Who? Tell me!
Oh my god, a giant rock.
Kazuma, Please, this trial can't end! Not yet! I have one ray of hope, and his name is Professor Mikotoba! I'm sorry, I can't testify right now. Too busy backing on my boyfriend. At that point, we just elope with Von Zeeks, steal Iris away into the night, and just fucking leave. Move to Germany or something so we can visit Hairbrain. I'm doing this for the truth.
I don't like that word. I'm a Persona 3 stan.
The person the defense would like to call to the stand to testify about the autopsy of Lord Clint Von Zeeks is...
Take that!
Heaven help us, another Japanese! You filthy goddamn 11s!
I don't understand that reference. An expert in forensic science, my lord, Professor Yuji Mikotoba, 16 years ago. He came to London with Seishiro Jigoku and Genshin Asogi as a visiting student.
And what could his testimony possibly tell us?
Professor Mikotoba was the primary assistant during the autopsy in question. He was also the person who actually penned the report.
Incorrect! The autopsy was carried out by the coroner, Dr. Wilson. The report carries his signature.
It was the primary assistant's duty to keep that written record of the coroner's work during the procedure. In actual fact, the coroner merely read over the report at the end and signed it.
Actually, I'm planning to move in with Hairbrain after this trial.
Well, I guess I have to go be heterosexual now. Outstanding. In other words, Professor Mikotoba witnessed the entire autopsy from start to finish. The defense demands that Professor Mikotoba be summoned as a witness as a matter of urgency. Whatever really happened at that autopsy laboratory 10 years ago is something only he can tell us. So who's it gonna be, ladies? Gina? Susato? I've gotta get the sentence somehow.
Oh, yeah, about that. I was kind of seeing Cosimo before we met.
Gina! Or Gory. Literally my only options left. Gotta make the great-grandson Phoenix somehow.
The defense's demand is denied.
What?
But Professor Mikotoba's in London at this very moment. We could summon him into the stand in minutes.
No, of course he's not gonna agree to it. He knows we're onto him. Olive, could be Olive. Strongheart has no mention of summoning anyone who knows. He's too concerned about protecting himself.
Prosecutor Asogi, let me refresh your memory, as you seem to have forgotten the prosecution's stance.
Or Venus? No, she's dangerous.
You need to play Persona 5 and make sure you like it, Oda, before I agree to anything long-term. I've already got a husband, though, and his name is Joker.
Don't worry, bud. It takes skill. Only minutes ago, you accused the defendant of being the Reaper and masterminding the assassin exchange.
I was gonna say, I'm shocked how readily Costa was actually willing to let go of the idea that it was Von Zeke's. He's been so single-focused on that being him. I did, yes.
So present your evidence for those claims and make your case complete.
At this time, I don't have the requisite evidence. But that's exactly why we need witness testimony.
The professor case is closed.
Do we need a last-minute voice change? Do we need a late-game voice change? I'm not gonna do it. I'll do it a little. Case closed. Lang's out if you got him.
The professor case is closed. There's no clues in the distant past that will bolster your argument today.
Gilbert voice too strong. Also helps request. Also, yeah, Hal personally requested that nobody too important be Lang because the Lang voice is apparently very similar to some asshole YouTuber or Twitch player that can trigger that not trigger, but it's fine. It's fine in small doses. I'm not gonna change it. Gilbert's too iconic.
I'm afraid to say, Prosecutor Asogi, that you would appear to be possessed by the spirit of your late homicidal father. Now, as I stated earlier, this court has already reached a conclusion with respect to the matter at hand. Inspector Gregson was murdered by Japanese Supreme Court Judge Seishiro Jigoku.
The creator of Ed, Ed, Netty posted a Eddie and Double DAFB on his Instagram. Oh my god, that's amazing. Beautiful.
For any hidden circumstances that may exist, they will be investigated in due course by the proper authorities, aka people I deem trustworthy enough until I decide they're not and kill them.
Objection!
But we all know what will happen. That'll just give the mastermind of the whole venture time to cover his tracks again.
By which you mean me.
I didn't say that, you did! Case closed!
Your punishment for this contemptible behavior will be decided at a later date. As for you, Prosecutor Asogi.
What was the point of Hosonaga? To personally insult me with his infinite stupidity and failure to achieve the most basic of jobs continually.
You will be remanded following these proceedings. Willingly, I trust, since you gave your word.
Oh.
The futile game of revenge is over, young Master Asogi.
And yet somehow he placed higher than Susato. We live in a society. Susato and Gina. He was like number 3. Oh. Ah!
This will be all. I hereby declare this trial to be over. Court is...
Has anyone seen my cocaine? I'm about to fuck up this courtroom even more. Mr. Sholmes.
This is no place for amateur detection, Mr. Sholmes. May I remind you that these proceedings are closed to the general public. You will leave my courtroom at once.
Objection!
Who else could it be? No one else was gonna storm in here. You think fucking Gina was gonna storm in here? It's always Schultz. He's a bad whore, but I know him. I know him well. Mr. Sholmes was instrumental in the apprehension of Seishiro Jigoku before he fled from Europe. The court should hear what he has to say.
I don't like you!
Lord Mayor Stronglord, it's imperative that you refrain from bringing this trial to an end at this stage.
Is it really? And why would that be? Pray tell me.
You do
can only recall your own words from the opening of the trial to answer that question, if I may. We will stop at nothing to uncover the whole truth behind these disturbing findings. Surely it can't be that the shock of being accused of being the Reaper yourself has erased that from your memory, can it?
The whole truth, sir, has already been uncovered.
That moment when you realize that Cholmes basically just called him a chicken and said he had a small dick. Like, literally just baiting him.
Like, what are you, chicken?
That's not what a chicken sounds like.
It would seem we have a great many important members of the judiciary present here today. I put it to you, my dear fellows, should the trial end at this juncture? After all, why have you been invited to attend? To nod along with the provocations of your superiors?
Order in the goddamn court.
It seems to me we stand before a door that leads to a new era of legal practices, a door that is ajar. Let us emerge from the shadows of the Reaper's decade-long ascendancy. For you and you alone, my dear fellows, have the power to push this door open now. Are you ready to accept the fact that you have a smelly little incel with a tiny dick?
The auditors in the gallery have no rights to express an opinion on court proceedings. Silence!
He's right. The judge has absolute authority here.
Yes, if he caused the trial to an end, he must end.
But will that really do? I sense dark things occurring behind the scenes. Dark things indeed. Is there a single person here who can honestly say?
Okay. What is happening? Ashley's the only option if we want to be gay. We could date Egger. You know what? We could date Egger. He's not my first choice, but at least then we'd be in with the Skulkins. The true Giga Chads of the franchise.
My lord, you were sure those present you would uncover the whole truth here.
Vindicate yourself in the latest accusation.
The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. That's the very foundation of British law.
A toast to my dependable colleagues in the gallery.
On with the trial! On with the trial! Stand up and testify! Stand up! Have you ever been there? Stand up and testify! 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 Stand up! Stand up with coffee and testify!
Well, my lord, hear the voice of British justice, I take it. Peer pressure, motherfucker. I think you'll find it rather awkward to silence.
It's tea time, oh my god.
The court will recess briefly. I have no intention of shrinking from these allegations. Bailiff, arrange for the subpoena of the witness at once. As soon as the gentleman arrives at the courthouse, we shall reconvene.
A recess won't be necessary, my lord.
Pardon?
Mikitoba is a close friend of mine. He accompanied me today and is waiting in the antechamber as we speak.
Friend. Massive sarcasm quotes.
I do believe he's been enjoying a little trip down memory lane, in fact. What? Professor Mikitoba is here in the courthouse?
Mr. Sholmes, you didn't know this would happen, did you?
I'm high on methamphetamines, my boy! I don't know anything right now! My dear fellow, no one is in a better position to answer that question than you, surely.
No, not really. I thought I knew you pretty well. I wasn't just asking for the fun of it, you know.
Well, I must thank you for your assistance in this matter, Mr. Sholmes. However, you are of no further use to us here. Kindly leave the courtroom at once.
Just snorting coke right off the witness stand. God damn.
But of course, in truth, I find myself rather busy now, as a result of these developments. Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes?
I trust you have I trust you have Iris's little lucky charm with you.
I'm kind of sad they got a new witness stand out here so fast.
I was hoping they'd have to stand awkwardly. Absolutely, it's still in my pocket. She sends her regards and the reminder. I was gonna say, I thought someone said we were getting a break soon earlier. Did they just lie? Or do they just mean a break in the sense that it's a new segment of the trial, but with no actual, like, to-be-continued part? If you find yourself at a dead end, my ears are at your disposal. Just one tug, if you please. Oh, of course.
In that case, the trial will continue without delay. Bailiff, show the witness to the stand.
There's a break here. Oh, okay. So it's Lord Strongheart. He's the Reaper of the Bailey. Where exactly is this trial going to take me, I wonder? Just how deep am I about to be plunged into the blackness of the abyss? Well, I'm ready. Ready to head into the heart of this maelstrom. Confront whatever horrors it tries to drown me under. Do. Okay, perfect. Very nice. Alrighty. Good stuff, now that we're actually getting to the heart of the matter. Yeah, like I said, sorry that I was getting frustrated there, but, like, genuinely, like, it was just... all the Reaper conspiracy Baskerville bullshit is much more interesting at this point. Like, the second it became obvious that Pirate Judge was the killer of Gregson specifically, I was like, okay, get to it. We know you did it, asshole. Let me look at the cool shit now, please. Heart of the Maelstrom, kind of keto. I was gonna say, Maelstrom, Maelstrong. It's Kino. Or a terrible pun. Take your pick. Either way, they're both good. Alright, good stuff. We could date Tuspels? We could date Tuspels. How old was Tuspels? She wasn't that old, right? Go play Genshin? Oh shit, that's right. I actually do have to play the new update. Oh, I really don't feel like doing that today. Finish tomorrow? You think we can finish this in one more? Or Maria. We can date Maria. I'm okay with dating Maria. Genshin Sunday? Yeah, I don't know. Currently playing the update stuff now, Goggle? Are you? Nice. Yeah, I was told we could probably finish it in 3 more streams. Can we actually finish it in 1? I mean, either way, it's fine. Like I said. Genshin, with Genshin, I can do the current event without actually watching the cutscenes. Like, I want to see the cutscenes. But, I can hold off and just do it all as one video, because I'm pretty sure we have at least one more leg of the event, right? So I might just hold off on that. That was the last break, was it really? Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna pressure myself then. If we get it done tomorrow, we get it done tomorrow, but, I get the feeling we might need more than that. But alright. Oops. Would it be Kino if the jurors were all bad guys we put away? Would it make sense that it would be cool to see them interact? Oh, that would be cool, actually, yeah. It's a shame that can't happen. Unless it was like all the people with lighter sentences who were somehow out already. Like Olive. Even Olive probably wouldn't be out quite this soon, but hey. I can dream. I can dream that she's out that soon. But alright, yeah, I think I'm gonna hold off for Genshin tonight, like I said. I'll either, do it Sunday, and it'll just be a super, super short stream if we happen to finish, Ace Attorney tomorrow. If I do end up splitting it up, but I'm guessing neither will be that long, and I'll have plenty of time on Sunday. I'll get it at some point. Not super urgent. Ugh. Good stuff, though. Like I said, a couple of bullshit moments in my opinion, but generally speaking, I'm excited. I'm excited to finally cut through to the truth of everything. I feel like I'm on the right track. With Clint possibly being a lot more at fault than we think, but, yeah, Kamen Rider. I'll watch some Kamen Rider tonight. Not right away. I'm gonna probably take a quick shower and finish the other half of my cheesesteak. I got a delicious cheesesteak for dinner, and I could go for a snack, but, maybe in like half an hour, we'll watch a little bit more build in the Discord. And that also means I can get back to Xenoblade 2 and grind for core crystals in the background. Why does she have Dongo? That's good art, though. Very pretty. Desperate enough to be gay. The B guy! You know what? That guy looks a little... You know what? That guy looks a little funny, but that guy seemed cool. That guy was pretty forthcoming as a witness. All he did was try to do his job. We could do a lot worse. Like Gregson. Alrighty. I can't. That fucking Gregson gift sub was funny. Whoever did that, once again, thank you. Alright, we'll be back and attempt to finish this up tomorrow. Like I said, I'm not gonna rush myself. If we gotta spread it across 2 nights, that's perfectly fine. Again, I'm gonna miss this game, even though I know I need a break. I'm also in no hurry for this game to be done and over, because it's gonna make me very sad, but... Alright. Gilbert, you and me, mano a mano, tomorrow. Thank you all for coming out. Special thanks to I Need Professional Help and... I can't do... Oh, no. God damn it, Streamlabs, don't freeze! Don't freeze when I'm trying to end! Motherfucker! I need a new PC so fucking bad. Jesus Christ. Kibo! Kibo! Fucking God! I can't hit any buttons. Chow, I'm trying to chow. But I can't do the thing, because Streamlabs won't let me hit any fucking buttons right now. So how y'all doing? Any special plans for Spooky Month? I'm doing fine, Gabrick. Thank you for asking. So, how's the weather? You're gonna dress up as Mr. Libido? Good luck with that. Don't get arrested. Still think who to dress this year? I doubt I'll actually do anything, unless I end up maybe taking my sister somewhere again or something. And also, the weather is awful. If I do have any need of a costume, I'll just dye my hair white and wear my Dante coat again. But that's about it. When you got a Dante coat, you wear it at any opportunity. Hey, it unfroze. Okay. God damn it, I hate that shit. Oh my god. Hopefully I'll get some birthday money or something. I've got to jumpstart this shit somehow. I'm so sick of this nonsense. Alrighty. For real this time. Thank you all for coming out. Special thanks to I Need Professional Help and all the go-kart and above patrons. If you want to help support me buying a Gregson cosplay, as Bump suggests, I guess that's the thing that needs to happen now. Check out the links in the description. Love you guys. Nighty-night.